DLC Cody holds up his bourbon and here's it. He's shot. He's struck. And this has been fired a lot. That's not bad at all. You drop that in an ultrasonic range for about 15 minutes, you're back to normal again. You do that about every 1,000 rounds, this will last you from 50 to 100,000 rounds. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show here, 20 Venetian. That it wasn't. Of course, I got right next to me Whit Noble, Beside Consulting. Guys, it's already crazy week here at SHOT Show. Of course, this is our third day, which is not great. Class tomorrow for SHOT University, and so I'm probably
passionate about everything that you can be passionate about, mainly about drinking. Jack. For let's talk about it. And when I say everybody, I mean 3 of our view, and I think Whit's son is watching, which he should not be. It's inappropriate for a 5-year-old. It is really late there. He should be in bed. He should be
asleep.
He should. Okay. Nealon, go to. How old?
Thomas is 9.
That's terrifying as shit.
Yeah.
That there's a small U run.
No.
All right, we'll talk about that a different day. I'm already spilling my whiskey. I'm so excited. All right, never mind. Whatever. All right, so let's talk real quick. Recap 3. Day 3 is my favorite. It's when we start to get down on the first floor. You start to see because a lot of times those are the products that really stand out in the market. And so tell me what y'all saw today. For a minute, and I don't know how long they've been before that. They're actually, I believe it's called. Man, our Wi-Fi is coming in and out. So if you're sorry, we're at the Venetian. You know, you can only do gun people. I don't know. They might like us, but I got her. Let's sidetrack for a second. I got harassed because when I came in with my luggage, I had my orange Pelican case with me. To me and said, "How do I know your gun's locked up?" And my first response. To answer that, and then it was, well, I would need you to know it's locked up because you're making our jobs harder. I was like, I'm done for people.
You're like, I'm here with the AVN Awards. There's a case full of.
I don't know where we came from here. Cool Fire Trainer. So, ABMs, but what I really think is that Cool Fire Trainer is better. I love that they didn't just get stale in the market. It's when you talk about a training tool, I think than what it is.
No.
And so to drop in dry firing with full recoil, it's a big deal for new shooters.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I mean, if you're on a range, put somebody who's already a little bit scared of shooting at level first. To the Jamie's not in the room today, so we're going to talk major shit about that.
And she's not watching either.
That's right. If you weren't here, get to hear us fighting about 22 versus 9mm as a EDC cartridge, and that's just a whole. All right, what else do we see? Michael, what did you see today that you liked on the floor?
Shadow System again.
All right,
amazing.
So. But everybody that I've ever talked to that I know Whit uses it.
I do.
Passion. Yeah. Just absolutely loves it. I mean, I've yet to hear anything.
Just right out of the box. The trigger feels amazing.
Right.
So,
yeah. Which. And they were going to, is the Black Steel. Black Steel, which is a folding
grip or a
folding
pad.
We call it if you've been in the industry for a minute, but it's a folding. But then you can go on our YouTube, check out the video. What was cool is Field stripping a glove.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Matt, can you throw me that?
Let's not get into it yet. We'll get into that in a minute. What that looks like. What I don't want to do is, because we have some special guests today, I don't. Their fans, hi to all their fans.
Hey.
While I'm good with breaking rules, I don't like to get other people. And so what we actually do is end up a deal. If that's cool.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about it, and I'll catch up with you here in a. We're going back to yesterday's conversation. It keeps coming full circle, but that on or 380 for your everyday king. The very a larger caliber.
Well,
It gives you talking power.
even as it where your thumb's supposed to be.
There's
So-
direction.
Yeah, there's direction. You literally just make sure that, hey, it just helps.
I love products. They're simple, right? Make happen production and that sticking out right in front of your trigger whenever you put it right in, and it doesn't affect it at all, so it's going to fit in any holster. Incredibly great little. The favorites that we saw on the floor today, was there anything else? They're thermal.
The thermal and the blue.
That's right. That was an interesting concept. I don't know if you saw it yet. So it's basically. Well, sorry. And my only concern there is.
Well, that's why dots.
Sunlight a lot. You go with something that is a solar tree. Like I said, still love getting on the floor. We'll be on first floor again tomorrow. I know we've got several other ones tomorrow that we're looking at. One that we talked about, and I've got to look at my notes here. But I think it's REAP. Does anybody know REAP? REAP. It's REAP Gunworks, Rifle Works, something like that. I can't remember. But essentially, they've made a kit that turns your AR into a bullpup.
Yeah. Yep.
For there, I really love walking around seeing. So, if you got something that you want, so check it out tomorrow for sure. Like I said, excited to have here. We got Meet the Pressers. I'm gonna let y'all swap on in here for a second while I get me a sip of whiskey. I know Michael here in a minute. Is what?
Well, that's not.
That's what I've been told. Is that you think that we're not as good? Pants don't look fun. It brings in the viewers. You wouldn't understand. You've got the Rob. You got the Rob. Right?
Oh yeah.
Have you gotten your official invitation yet? Right there.
Good to know people.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah.
I'll go. I was. Yeah, born and raised in up.
yeah.
Went to the army. Grandkids.
Wow.
Yeah, small.
What's grandkids like?
You know this thing. You sugar them up and Yeah, it is.
I keep trying to do that to my kids, and they keep just coming back in the front door every time.
Yeah. Try to put them to bed.
Compressors, tell us about which all the stuff that you love, all that.
So I started 15 years doing more training nationally as a national instructor for UTM, Taser, Saber, pepper spray, and during those travels, Clinton Macro and I started for picked up on Apple TV, Roku TV, and Fire TV. On there every Wednesday night. Actually, just ended tonight's episode. Just play. So yeah, and we just like interview.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we try to fight it. We came into it at the point where you've got all the junk that the liberals put. We came in, but we didn't do it to make money. We did. They're great people.
That's right.
Learn from them. Network.
Isn't it funny how that works? Killed him a little bit. Oh my God! I've killed the guest.
You're literally.
Yeah, I really want. If I can get.
Let me see. Matt.
Hey guys, I'm Luke from Meet the Pro. Let me introduce you to my show. No, but did you do on-camera work before? Like,
no, never. Spoke at different events, so I had that. I like doing it. I love doing it. Right. It's that old adage that if you love something you do, you don't have a work day in your life.
That's right.
Being on camera, I was an extra in a couple movies back in the 90s.
Oh, tell us more. Were they? Did it look like Prince's room? I need to know.
No,
okay.
They puddle cruisers. For the bombing of Pearl Harbor with Will Wheaton.
No way. Okay.
So they filmed it in upstate back in the 90s.
Right.
Up visiting family with.
Okay.
Hey, what the heck? So
sweet.
Went and slipped on some. To get an IMDb credit, the show.
No way.
Clint's been in the porn industry. I mean, Clint was in the. So he had already a beat back in the 90s.
Okay.
Where I had some creds, but they were never anywhere.
Right.
So the show was able to put those two extra positions in Meet the Press for the past 6 years or 5 years. And then
Yeah.
Oh, he meant nothing.
Doesn't want to tell you he was an extra when they were filming up there.
Right.
If you ask Alexa, play Meet the Presser, you cannot. Presser. It's like I've been actually play our show.
Right.
No.
No, I don't think you mess with that.
Yeah.
So, being from New, that's a disaster. There, you feel like for our industry,
It is, and with CCA. Well, I should say more so with the Bruin decision. As long as you got a heartbeat and you don't have a felony, 26-18 code. That was. You got June, Bruin decision happens. You got July, they pass the CCA. You got September, it goes into effect.
Right.
And then you got November where she gets. What?
Kathy.
So, she gets. So we're obviously with GOA. That's it. And preaching this, all the interviews I've been doing. Counts if everybody said. What if nobody calls out and dies in an accident?
And it's a conversation we've had. It's changed, but realistic, just kind of live in the middle. And it's those live in the middles that are like, they don't want to be loud either way.
Yeah.
And they even when you talk about voting, it's I'm in the middle. It's with where we're at today is I think we as a country, and I think we all know this, massive amount of people that stand for, but getting them to go and actually put that on paper has become difficult.
We interviewed.
So how did that go? Tell us about it.
It was phenomenal.
Was
it was great. It was. We had Cordova and Public Square were on the show to talk, and he's very pro for them. And get involved, especially he said it. I mean, he said, like, if they can do what they did to my father and what they've done to him when he just. They're like, well, we don't want your business.
Right.
It's like, it's a legal business. Good moral, like John Korea says, good moral, prudent people, and you.
Where do you see? When we look at we're not going to talk politics the whole time. I promise. We're going to get back into SHOT Show in a second. I didn't mean to go this route, but we're here now. Let's take over the world.
Let's do this.
Let's really get into it. Let's see if we can get kicked off YouTube by the end of the day. No, that's perfect. Nothing. Obviously, New York's a shithole.
Yeah.
But when we pull other shitholes in you live in New York, so I don't know if this alters your decision, but where's the country to live?
Yeah, I think it's a gamble because they're always just looking at each other. Like you see after the SAFE Act of 2013 in New York State, how many states. Oh, because Cuomo wanted to be the first one to put that out in 2013. You get that and so you got Illinois, California, you got all these New Jersey.
Yep.
You got all these states. So I don't think any of that's why people are state by the droves, and that's why they got to make prostitution and hallucination. They literally afford to do that so they can have tax money to keep the state going.
Right. Crazy. It's not.
That's when 3 million people vote. Kathy out there that they think, oh, who needs an AR?
Right. Don't get me started.
And though I love America, it doesn't stand for
15 because is it for that platform?
That's right. That's it. That's exactly right.
That's the most frustrating. I put it on the front of my truck and I run you over with it. That's an assault rifle.
It's wild because everything at this point, at where we live in 2024, everything is an agenda. So they looked at AR. Hey, we're going to take this and put a negative connotation with it. Right. It's kind of what they. When you're fighting against something like that, when we're looking at the continual fight that. The hell.
I'm just going to move out of the state. And I've had people say that they won't come to New York. They don't want to come to New York to visit. They don't want to come to New York to train. I host people up in New York, just like like you do, and behind enemy lines. So
you have to show them that you're not afraid to go there
So that's I think the other aspect of it is look at the politicians. You say because the politicians are going to tell you whatever they want.
That's right.
I mean, that's Vivek Ramaswamy there. I mean, he's saying all the right words. He's got a lot of the same speaking points, and I'm like, wow, this guy's.
Right.
But then you look at how he voted and who funds him. It's like,
Eh. The council. I mean, you know what I mean? Digging into that tells you more about that person than anything that'll come out of their mouth. Period.
well, and then you look at right, like you didn't even know a lot of the stuff behind the scenes until that thing happened,
Right.
with the ATF. And then when that happened, people started researching it. They're like, wait a minute, they sold off.
Yeah. She's like, hey, I don't want to. I've got. We can't just cut ties because someone tells me to cut ties. She's like, no, there's some stuff you need that's happening that you don't want to be associated with. We filmed, we produced a show for the Outdoor Channel, the Foul Life with Chad Belding, and with that travel. New York, we spent 12 days in Canada. We spent days in Wisconsin, Arkansas, Kansas, Wyoming. I mean, it's been a while, but the one thing that has been really interesting, and I've traveled a lot, but it's still, I think, comforting to see is no matter where I'm from the South, we shit and we get it. We're not Florida. Don't get us wrong.
And no one's Florida.
No one's Florida but Florida. But it was cool. Oh my God, they're gonna take. We hear that like, oh God, everybody.
Small areas.
It's small areas.
Very populated.
California,
Right.
Yeah, Michigan.
Michigan, right.
Same thing.
Yeah. So, we're realistically, there's more people like us.
Actually running for public office.
It
And for
is.
school board. Older than me that had
Yeah.
gone to the same school, and it was kind of like an honorable mention thing. Hey,
That's
you
right.
did to spend $3,000 of my money that I didn't all to
Right.
run for school board and just kind of see how that political juggernaut.
Buddy Jody Bear. Which stop it, y'all are dirty. And I love it. John Rich is a good buddy of his. John Rich came from Arkansas, so we work a lot with them, and I do all their media stuff. And John, when he came in, the first time he spoke, and I didn't. Me and Jody. Because and I think there's a lot behind that. I think
Totally.
there's some people that don't
Washington.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's it.
It's always the person that because they know the change needs to be made.
That's exactly right. And he's come in and he care. And this is not a pitch for Jody. This is a pitch for this kind of person. Like area. Right, exactly. Right after the shooting and all that mess, and Jody was the first one to step up and be like, no, he called everybody. They'll look at it as a business.
I think that's
You watch her up front.
and that's
Yeah.
why I voted for Ross Perot back in the 90s.
Right.
First to vote for Bush, I voted for Ross Perot.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
He was
because he's a businessman.
he's a business.
to be run like.
That's what I've said about Trump. The thing is, at the end of the day, whether or not I like Trump or not, at the end of the day, he did what was right for our country. Shaded that, and he ran it like a business. He may have been ugly, may have hurt your feelings if I see you out in public.
Muslim and the Jew and had
Right.
ever.
Nobel Peace Prize. Oh
Yeah.
wait, no, that was
No,
How you
Obama.
literally-
Right. I loved it. And he was the only, and also, I mean, we have like, you know, what love that about him. Like somebody's going, what do you, please, man.
Yes.
So far, what you get on the floor, what kind of stuff you like, that kind of thing.
So I think this is pro style. So and it's just, you know, it's in some sense it's overwhelming.
Nice.
B-roll. The cool products. When we went out to range day on Monday, we wanted to do some
Okay.
suppressors, some of the out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then hitting the floor, just you know, the new Henry lever action, 5.56.
So here's one thing, and I love Henry. So this is not at all. When we picked up the Henry 5 out of my hand, I've never touched a barrel that hot in my life. On that one, when we touched it, Whittle attest as well, burnt him, just about burnt through his glove. Jason's trying to be like.
Build, or not
Okay.
build, I shouldn't say build, but a project.
Right.
And I'm basically using muzzle rise prior
That's
to
awesome.
being suppressed.
Here, that's your world, right? And so we haven't done on Thursday or Friday. It's been one of my favorite products out there. We've talked a lot here about training, all the different aspects of training. I think Mantis plays such a thing that people are overlooking, and it's getting better, right?
Totally.
One thing that I loved about Elise, and I think she's the marketing manager, right?
Exactly.
YouTube video, make us a video.
Yep.
I love that because it inundated the market with Mantis. If you're going to sit at home and dry fire, there's not a better way, or if you go to the range and the Tom wasn't shooting as much as I should have been. I went out and all of a sudden I'm shooting low left. It happens to all of us, or at least that's what I tell myself. Don't say anything different. That
Training without any kind of feedback on that. Pictures of relatives in the wall that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have any feedback, Mantis gives you that feedback of how has been a sponsor of me. So great company, great new. Could you ask for? But products, we came up with a statement. It helps shooters suck less,
I like that,
and they've kind of used that in their marketing now. Because, I don't remember. Actually, pretty good.
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
microphone. Yeah.
He's literally listening.
Yeah.
I just landed in. So it helps shooters suck less, and
Right.
and that's the big thing. And you telling you what kind of that photo, the
Right.
the I don't even know what they call it. Photo shows you a little move during that process. So, yeah, whatever you're aiming at, be as stable as you can while you press the trigger, while you go through
That's
that
right.
full trigger press, and that's trigger finger. You're anticipating the recoil, you're healing it, whatever. Now they want that shot impacted, kind of thing.
Yeah. The
Peanut gallery.
the version shooting at me. Do you have something to tell me, Curtis?
Party time.
Oh, you got to go. Okay, we've got to say bye to Michael. He's got to go to Rob's. Riding shotgun with Charlie. Sorry, I haven't even got to meet him yet, so I'm just gonna bring him here. That's what.
Aw,
Holster.
Creekside.
Hope you drink.
Herpes.
Herpes is the. He's not the point. I think Michael. Or I want to put a microphone on him.
Yeah, we like.
Yeah, y'all put a microphone on him.
We want.
Yeah. Do you want mine or do you have another one? God, your mic.
A
Better.
long black stick.
Oh, I
face.
like that.
Oh my.
Riding shotgun with Charlie
Yes.
on YouTube.
I was gonna say.
We'll admit this publicly.
So I know we've never got to. I am a. You can ever imagine. I've been doing it for 20 something years. We've been versed to everybody. And so your concept is one of my favorite It consists of throwing a couple of GoPros or Osmos up in your car and rolling around and talking.
Gordon with carpool karaoke.
Okay.
Right, this-
I've heard it for one of his segments. I believe that the most honest and fun conversation or bad. Okay.
is people have different conversations when they're in the car.
Absolutely.
And it was in his mid-teenage years, talk about
Fair.
Right?
Okay.
Right? So the kids open when you're in the car and for a while, and I wanted to start a podcast, and
Right.
I was trying to and it never worked out. So I'm like, forget this, man. I saw carpool karaoke, and I wanted to be a rock star.
Obviously. Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm gonna start a show and call it Riding Shotgun. Was taken, so just gonna shotgun with Charlie. Really, really high tech stuff. Yeah.
No, but it is cool because this is what we're used to seeing is people sitting on the couch, sitting at the table, everything else.
No, but I just filmed a show with Jake Wiskersion from Walk the Talk America guy on a motorcycle, like flipping a wheelie up. I'm like, dude, all right.
So do you rent vehicles?
If you it all depends. When I started doing a show, I had are you ready for this? A niece, very uncool. So I got better gas mileage. So.
That's right.
And then car, I got a Dodge truck. I have 149,000 miles on it, and
Nice.
just under 4 years. I've driven to Sioux Falls. I did a Mag 40 class, and on the way, I did a show in Iowa, then 3 in Sioux Falls, 1 in Nebraska.
Free candy.
Right. I don't think I've had anything really strange. I've had I've had that happen. I've had. I did a show somebody one time. I got the 3 cameras lined up. Everything's going really well, and this is when I realized I was a bad instructor because I took. So I get framed here to having them framed from like
Nice. Look at my eyes. Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
from the mustache. I can't. And then
Right.
yeah,
You've piled some people in your car too. You've had, I think, right? Or maybe not, but
a couple Florida Carry event, and I did essentially a greatest hits. John.
right, not small.
Teddy bear.
Right. Sorry. And then with Patrick Collins, and we had Amy Dillon. Do you guys know Amy Dillon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 feet and 10 3/4. I'm in the car, and it's great. There's a cop right next to us. We got a car.
I'm a people person. Stuck with my kids and my wife, and that was rough.
Wow.
I love my kids, the coolest kids ever. They're crazy driving, and I love people. I was like, this might fun. Anyways, the day that I stopped driving,
Oh my!
Really?
I was today, boys, and so is she. So you know what? It's it was wild for recently.
I have not recently.
Oh
no.
my god! Rule of the world, you would not believe what Nashville has turned into.
And
That's fair.
watch as many shows I do. But of course, I send my daughter a link. I'm like, hey, I'm about to. We're right.
Yeah,
And so there's the place. And, she's not. She's on her 3rd husband.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
She's
Yeah.
not Elizabeth Taylor, but she's on her third husband. And so my wife, or my ex-wife, was like, she's like, Zofia, people don't really get this excited when for their thing they might go out.
Yeah.
Wow.
We grew up in Nashville too. Both of us grew up. We actually went to, and we both went to the private school because we got kicked out of the public schools. It's
Clothes off in cars.
yeah, I can't tell you legally on YouTube.
That's how we learned.
But we grew up in that. Very lucky, very blessed. So it's 6 TP Mayfield. WKDF, we're the #1 radio show in the country. I was an associate producer. So like every Wednesday I spent with Waylon Jennings. A ball game. If there was a problem in the bar in Nashville, then you would step outside. The other dude's
Buy him a
cowboy
drink,
hat,
yeah.
and you'd buy him a drink. Like that's how we grew up in Nashville. Now Nashville has turned into an absolute cesspool of garbage. He's gotten. He can't read that.
I can't.
From scratch. It's something about Moss. Talk about
When I
Moss.
interviewed Moss.
wants to know when you tried to kidnap Moss.
Kidnap-
Oh,
Kidnap
you
Moss?
kidnapped Moss.
How
Yeah.
All right, so what's the story with swearing on your show?
1,000%.
And I say, if people swear, people swear. If I have to edit it out, I'll edit it out. He's like, let's go with court rules. I said, okay, Moss, what are court rules?
Right.
And he says, if it's a direct quote, then it's fine. Whatever. And they ask you what him. He says, he said, I'm going to kill you.
Direct quote, we're
it's
good. Yeah.
So I'm driving around. I'm like in this area. I don't know where the hell I'm at. I'm on the floor. And I'm like, my objective is just to drive some big square. It's really depends.
Okay. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Go ahead.
in the middle of the desert.
It
Yeah.
all depends on. And I'm like, okay, I'm the left hand. Right, a left hand turn. And I'm like, I haven't seen the airport yet. I make a. Again,
Okay.
I don't know if Moss is picking up on any of this.
Right. For sure.
To get back to the campgrounds, and I'm like, all right, well, you don't have to. And tell her we're on the way. He says, "Oh,
We're good.
absolutely."
Tell a story about Moss.
Oh, here, you want mine?
Oh, at all? Okay. I leave every year, and I see Moss. I go, right after, this was after he had the negligent.
Right.
I said, have your class kind of drop or anything like that? He goes, no, it was just typical. And the response was, well, at least it wasn't an AK. And he goes, you fuck.
That's
Right. Clinton, last year.
Okay.
And 2 years ago. And so I didn't know him, but then years later I'm like, oh, he's not pissed.
You don't.
He said that, I'm like, oh, I think I offended him. I'm like, I didn't offend him, but it was just it was funny as hell.
What
Yeah,
I've
he's
learned,
a great guy.
it's hard to offend people in our industry because we're all assholes.
Right.
We are what we are.
It goes back to that, you get in a fight.
And you got to go to
court. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the. I don't know that he's been to court. Maybe.
Wit knows.
Wit knows.
Sort of limitations.
I want to come about. Well, first, before we get into this, let's talk about SHOT Show for you. I'll be to walk around.
No.
Oh my God!
There's a
You've
lot
just
of-
been driving around talking.
Almost. So one of the things is I'm doing live broadcasts from the Samson booth. Great. Faster saves. We had Ben. Oh gosh, I'm going to screw his name up. Ben Carrington from Stephen Wilford came by, and then I had Tony Simon from the Diversity Shoot.
Nice.
Rolling in.
Tomorrow, Yehuda Reamer, the Pew Pew Jew, and Robin Sandoval from Gold on a Gun.
How's
Conference. It's the day before Gun Rights Policy Conference, but in 21, I think it was, we did 2 days of AmCon because we had a virtual GRPC. So I went and Katie and the Locked and Loaded Latinos, and we're having dinner at you. 30 and he comes running out. He says, "Listen,
some shit immediately?"
Grab your guns.
Well,
Let's go.
Right. I wouldn't ask you guys to do anything I wouldn't do, but you." Exactly. Somebody put the light back on.
Well, just let him really live in that moment.
Wow.
So is it? In years past, you've got the booths. You've got to kind of right. So this year, you're all day in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, talking.
It's for the most part, yeah. So I've done. I did a show with Clover Tack and Ghost Tactical.
Right.
I did a show with Mike Pewarski, and then I.
Around.
Did it get weird?
We were like
desert, anywhere.
Somebody here has to have.
Honestly,
have
though,
a backhoe.
I was worried because I don't have. When you were
That's
driving, I'm
encouraging.
like,
Bro, you can't go to the desert and not.
well,
we
I
were
got. You can get extra insurance.
no, I could add Nevada, but I don't know, a long time ago. We're on some trails. Get out of that car and had the
Wow.
most fun of our lives.
Wow.
Oh, it's so worth it. Yeah, took it back and
you know,
dropped it off, and
you're-
they looked at me. They're like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "I mean,
It's
it's
insured.
the roads are rough here, bro." That's it. Yeah. So, is it hard this year? Does all day long? I'm talking from a production standpoint for a minute, but is it hard?
Frosting is being back and forth. Samson is over in Caesar's Forum, the furthest away, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like 7 rows.
Farthest corner.
Yeah. And then coming back here for something, and then trying to catch up with everyone else. And I did a show with I filmed a show with Jake Excursion today from Walk the Talk America. Just go to the media room and compress. And I'm here with a couple buddies, little entourage. And they're like, they want to get the max out of everything. So
Right.
like we're gonna, and we get like 5:40, and the other guy's like, all right, so my hotel's about 10 minutes from here,
Right.
10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys come meet me in half hour? I'm like,
Right.
dude, we're still 10 minutes from our room.
This is where I sleep, but I've never done this before. It's and don't big about in the production world of like we all the time. People expect the best from us. They expect do that. Expect to be the best every day. There's not many people that can carry that,
Yeah.
and so that's one of tonight. They're wake up. Let's do it. And I always get it at the press room as soon as it opens, and I sit down. I kind of thoughts. Is it's so much better for the team. It's so much you get. Rest, and then when we're done, we're done. We used to come in. I used to work for a company called Rated Red. Rated Red was an interesting company. By company and said, "We want you to be the basically we want you to build this and because we want you to do promotional material for Go 90, which was." That's why we were formed, and so I was brought in, and when I came in, I was probably the only person who sat on the right side of the aisle of, at that time, 20 or 30 person staff of this channel that was meant to reach the heartland. Like I could pull out a shotgun and he'd buy place.
AR, isn't it?
Yeah, right, and so, but we 30 videos a day total.
Wow.
You want to talk about absolutely my problem with that from you're not getting the best out of that channel.
No.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you're just it has time with the product and be like, okay, hard, when you're sitting, everybody different. And I know you're in front of camera, or behind microphone or behind camera as well. What's it like for you? Do you feel like you have a hard reset time, or do you feel like you can go pretty?
Well, my one of the problems. Oh, I guess we need this for our
jeez.
live. We don't have enough mics. So yeah, I think you just corrupted my crew. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I
I didn't mean to do that.
like, what time we getting
yeah.
up? 6 o'clock. What time we got to be at the show? 7.
7.
What time we done? Midnight. I mean that's valid. I mean, we're here. We spend the money. Very the dinners and the lunches and there's some places you alcohol. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There are big expenses here in Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's the level
Yeah.
yesterday, and he really it's all. This is another. Why do we do this? Because we love it. Because
Right.
we want to get the message out there. Because
Right.
relationships, stuff like that. And at some point, we just keep going. I mean, there's Val.
Is. And so, and I like what you said about SHOT Show's not cheap. People don't realize SHOT Show is going to be $3 or $4 by the time I pay for airfare, hotel, food, everything else. And by
the
the time,
sponsors helps offset that.
right. It coming to SHOT Show is an undertaking that not, and I can tell that the staff, because every year they've got new people in. They've replaced. I mean that, and let's be honest, there's 20. Everything that everybody wants to see here, you can't.
Right. Yeah, you really can't. And I've noticed what I'm trying to do last year I was running around with one of my buddies, and the objective is view website stuff. Doesn't matter what we went on a trip.
Amy. Yeah, was it Jack? Yep.
Was it? Though,
It was past.
Oh
tense.
no, then it was Tito's, and she put some.
I don't know. She
You
made
got
it
vodka.
Like, it's.
Oh, did
it's
she?
like,
To interrupt you, but I want to
No.
make sure everybody has
Hey,
flowing drinks because SHOT Show's expensive. There's Jack. I'll let you pour your.
Right.
Okay. Well, when Amy comes back, we'll figure out. We need some more alcohol down here. What was he drinking? Okay, thank
so
you.
I don't want to forget because I am tipsy. Will not be driving. But
I might be. I train professional.
There you go.
so we have a collaborative show that came up. Company.
Oh, good for him.
And the contract said that he couldn't, do any kind of promotional stuff. So
Right.
we had guest co-host. Because we didn't have a following at that
Me
time.
right now. I get it. Yeah. No one's-
Wow, just a little.
yeah.
But over time, we get a bigger following.
Right.
We got more people that are watching, and and I say. Lose, right? That's equal and commensurate.
Thank you, Amy.
And I'm talking about you.
Thank you.
God, I thought you talking.
So early, so so as gushy as this normally.
Okay.
but
Yeah. Somebody.
Later.
Oh, that's so sweet. We're not.
So Clint's got
Different show later at night.
But
You can go over to the ABM Awards to catch that later. Go ahead.
I thought that.
All night.
Don't
Or
forget to get
this is only going to go downhill, and I'm here for all of it. Unless, yeah, it's my favorite.
Anyway, so. Point.
Yeah, what's your point? Have
Please
another
tell us
drink,
your
it'll be
point.
fine.
You're done, Junior.
So Don Jr.'s much more fun to talk to when you had a couple of drinks in you.
I don't know. It's 6 o'clock. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but something for. That's right.
Our social medias, and we have the people that we had on our shows that we enjoyed having. Bane, which was
Oh,
really
it's
cool.
fun.
Yep.
We were good about it, but then somebody starts working really hard,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
then I don't hear.
The first time I've heard he was like, "Okay."
We are
I
having-
love finding
we are
stuff
having
out
a couple
loud.
drinks. We are having a. This is pretty cool. We get on straight. You find you get a little more time
Right.
here, and you know, training. So a little bit less,
Right.
but then something happens, and or whatever. In the hey,
People don't realize that in our industry, for the most part, for the most part, most of us are working a
right.
That's it. And so, and everything's different, but most will just, they,
Honey,
So one of my goals is I want,
okay.
and I filmed shows in 34 states so far.
Okay.
I had somebody. My deal is this for what, and I don't know, whenever it was, I got to film a show. So I took my daughter down to college. Right, she wanted to visit Belmont.
Okay.
I reached out to Hickok 45. I'm like,
Right.
hey man, you want to?
I saw that. That was fun. He's a good dude.
He's a great
Yeah.
guy. Shockingly, we went to Cracker Barrel for breakfast.
Oh, what?
It snowed. It was February of 21. No,
That's
and,
right.
And snow was. There we go.
Stop! Don't start with this. And
that's
and
long.
1/4 inch of ice on top of. Was wait, it's this. Oh God!
He had a fit. He-
But like we shut down, bro.
Absolutely.
Hey, right? And when I flew out on Sunday, there was I drive or one of two in our I'm talking about. It was wild where he came down the street, flipped. It was a the whole thing. That said, I know how to drive and so, but yeah, Southerners do absolutely. And if we get an inch or more, that's that.
That's it. So this is what I said to Hickok. I'm like,
We were always okay until one year I was like, you know what is weird about your daughter is that she that's fair.
Wit.
Great one that comes out of Tennessee. I don't know if you've ever got to do with him. Is Plinkster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Plinkster.
and he's out of Tennessee as well.
Yeah,
And it's
I
a
met-
lot of fun.
Yeah, I met him at the Ivy.
Right.
Yeah, Eric and
Yeah.
Chad's event.
say, who do you know in this? I'm going to
Kidnap
fill
them.
Right.
Not how you're. Throwing them in your trunk.
It's a one-way ride. The end of the show is me driving in the car by myself.
Right.
Where'd they go? Don't look in the trunk.
Yeah.
It's a rental. No. Once
Oh,
it's
my
some of
God.
them, because those
You know, you don't when you start off, you don't know anyone, and so you reach out to the people you do know. and I lock,
Okay.
right? The tactical pixie.
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, send her an email. I drive people around. Interested, right? And then she's like, currently,
It's Carrefour.
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. Right.
I met her parking lot and I am damn sure I'm bringing a gun with me. As last
Uh-huh.
to get a on an Airbnb here
Right.
in Vegas, and she had like 4 or 5 people stay there for a few nights, and it was
Okay.
great. And then, to me, this is what it's about. Like the gun folks are good people. You become friends with these people,
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and so I'm walking around with one of my guys yesterday morning, and we ran into Ash. Marian.
Right.
I filmed a show with her in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
and I'm like, we're
Yes.
Oh.
I really don't know much about us. We'll be good. Right? So we ran into her. Her hair. Small, petite woman, very attractive. She comes walking up to me. She's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, good to see you. Gives me a hug. Good to see you. Give me a call.
Right.
And we walk out. He's like, dude, how do the
Signal.
chicks know who you...
This uncle.
Undateable. It's really what it comes down to.
And his number is 867-5209.
Yeah, 5209. Right.
I talk to people for $3.99 a minute.
Great.
Trying to talk to somebody about having you on or having them on your show, and what kind of cars you got? Whatever. What do you got? It's not about the car. It's about the
It's the
conversation.
conversation.
Right. So, right. So I have so many people. Right. I have so many friends. Like, oh my god. I make no money. I now have the shows. I spend 4 to 5 hours on my own. Right?
Uh-huh.
See what guns I can rent. Show. I'm gonna hold the camera and talk. Everybody's got a team except for me.
Oh
Right?
God.
Individuals, Amy and David saying right. Those.
As if it's
Love that. No. Y'all have a good day.
Over, so I figured I'd.
That's fair. Yeah, slip for slip.
There we
It's
go.
yours. Yeah.
All right. So I've been a music teacher for, I don't know, I always tell my students since the 1900s. Right?
That's a very long fucking time.
This is what
See the way here.
my kids say to me. They're like, so how old are you, Mr. Cook? I'm like, I'm in early You only look like you're in your 60s. Oh, thanks, kids. I'm like, being right here, you know what? I'll take some of that.
Yeah, okay. Thank God. Yeah.
I hope I can
I
hold
said,
it.
being around young this where we're having a couple drinks. One of my buddies says, "Hey, you know what music? You get that little cool." And every time you talk about gun stuff, it's the same little twinkle, right?
Okay.
So he says, "You know what you should do? You should make a video where you play the drum and shoot a gun with the other."
Oh yes.
So he's like, "You need to do bum ba da da da."
Yeah, that's a success.
So I went and did one of these. I did a God, what's Pincus's old class? Combat focus shooting class with Pincus in 2013, and ended mag change while I played the Blue Danube Waltz. Right?
No shit.
Like I don't know, in 2 seconds or something crazy like
He
this.
still wasn't probably impressed, so it doesn't.
No.
Afterwards.
Right, so another friend of mine, he's like, I showed them this video. They game this like. I got slide lock. I got a racket on my slide, which I'll jam. I'm like, oh. I got about 300 videos on YouTube. Adults here, so. Or something. He used one. He is one of these. Try not to. He used one of those. So all of a sudden, in guy band teacher that I have a nun at one of my schools that calls me the Grim Reaper because I take the kids away from. I take the kids out of class, right?
Grim Reaper. You ruining their lives. Schools don't mix.
This happened in December. I went to go get some Reapers here. Who are we here for today? Look at her with a crooked finger and be like, "I'm coming for you, sister." I totally do.
Oh.
So anyway, I started doing the gun grant videos, and then email address, and I got a phone call from this TV show called Right.
How you said I built myself an email address, like you worked really hard for
I know,
that.
it's
Like perfect. Thank you. Yep.
Right? Trademarked gun. Yeah, okay. I started making the gun. In El Paso, and so that was pretty cool. And then I started writing Shotgun the year after that, and then
Right.
and so she messaged me like, he's got a new thing from Lifestyle magazine.
Right.
He wants, he wants you to write some articles. Fucking hate writing. I'd love to. It sounds great. What do I? So
Isn't that just the basis of our industry? I hate this shit. Yeah, sign me up. I'll do it twice.
2019, I've been putting shows out for a while, trying on the. I got the Blogger of the Year award from the Second Amendment
kidding.
Foundation.
Love
That
I love
right.
this story.
I write a that is how I roll, bitch.
That's
Friend of my show, he's like, you got right.
yeah.
So Trampus, talk to Trampus. I'm up, knock him down, set him up, knock him down.
Right.
To do an article called "Writing Shotgun with Charlie."
That's-
He's like, So what I started to do, again, this is God bless John Petrolino from Jersey. He's like,
Trump.
Trump, right? Like he does the thing with the mouth. Okay. So Trampus is like, we're gonna call it again, and then write a big article about the two
That
interviews.
sounds exhausting. Yeah.
It completely is. So then I started recording. I'd go back and say, the issue of armed lifestyle, and he's like, "Do you have somebody who did this, or someone somebody related to this sort of thing?" And I'm like, "I do." Interview. We're gonna talk and up on YouTube. And it's been great, man. I absolutely love it. At my job, I got a nun that thinks I'm the Grim Reaper,
Right.
and right, and outside of school, I'm the internationally known, right, and I'm
Blogger of the year.
blogger of the year,
Right. Right.
I get the Defender of Liberty Foundation.
And you use AI for all.
I
Still has not
rating.
typed a word.
I am the artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
King Shock.
John Graham.
Oh, much. Yeah. So is from Florida, Carrie, and he invited me to speak to. And he's like, "Hey, we need to promote this." So,
Right.
people are like, we need a gun. So I did.
Yeah.
What was
I mean,
that?
I like Metallica.
Gungram of "Don't Tread on Me" by
Okay.
Metallica,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool.
That is
So,
awesome.
Yeah, this is pretty fun too. I got a friend that's a fan of. Shit and time signatures.
Everything's odd. Yeah.
Yeah. A proposal.
Oh God.
So right, but a Slayer, and I'm. No, I put the video up. Gave it to his wife. He's
Wow.
like, "Oh, hey, Charlie sent me a new gungram. Let's check it
And
out."
that's how he proposed.
And that is exactly
That's
how he
cool.
proposed with
That
his
is-
wife.
Said that, I thought he was going to say something like, "I killed your wife." Is that Slayer?
That's for my ex-wife.
different audience. Yeah.
So, if I may.
Please.
So
Taking my job at this point. If he wants my
Right,
mic, he
this
can.
I'll tell you about it. Tell you about it.
Look, I'm gonna let y'all two have this. Take this one. Give that. Emma. Since when? Take that one.
It used to be Lucas' issue.
Yeah, it used to be True Southern TV, and actually, what I'm going to do
True
is
Southern TV.
I am a.
See if the pink
I'm
is
going to be
about
on a family man, daughter at home who's having. I'll let you take over my show for a second. I'm going to go step outside and FaceTime my daughter.
Right now,
I
this is
would,
great.
but I don't trust any shit here. I don't. And so,
This is how somebody loses custody
Amy,
of their
do
kids.
you want to come play with these dudes? Amy's gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Lucas. This is what I love. She has her own perfume.
Oh, I do.
Not that I'm jealous.
Some
I never
for you.
even thought.
You
Right?
do have your own perfume too, though. Well,
I used to take Hoppy's number 9 and put it behind my ears, see if the chicks would enjoy it. This is also is why I'm undateable. I'm putting Hoppy's behind. You know.
It's actually unisex, so it's a pheromone. Different.
Excellent. Hey now. Hey now.
And sign David.
He's trying to say give Amy the mic because whatever you were talking about, that shit's gone. So, Amy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Lucas.
Amy
Hey,
Lucas,
guys.
everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
This, whatever this pod. We should do a podcast and call it "Hey Girl," because
Hey,
every
girl,
time
hey.
every time I call my daughter, I'm like, "Hey Girl," all the text messages.
okay.
Hey Girl.
That's what I say to my wife. It's kind of creepy.
Hey Girl.
Yeah. That's
What was
awesome.
that?
Oh my god! All right, so you get this. So that really, this is not just have people that work for you now. They're doing the one of the big companies, and then legit, you came out with this ago.
Well, and right. So everything that I wear is steel and stilettos. So I'm trying to just create a brand. I'm a walking billboard. I have it on my jeans. I have it on my
Matt's trying to look, but not look like he's
right.
If you have, let me tell you, it's like looking into the sun.
Right.
You can't look. Anyway,
Well, anyway, I'm just trying to create a brand. I want people to recognize the steel and stilettos logo, and wherever they go, hey, I know that. I've seen that.
It's funny.
Good night.
Yes, that was good. So, when we think of that, the
Amy, so Dave's trying to say that you need to point this towards
we're gonna step up our production value next year at SHOT Show. Sponsors, we're looking for you.
So
Anyway,
they can buy these. I was looking into this. They buy these with 3 microphones, I believe, as well.
I think we only need 4. The brand identity and stuff. I mean, like I got zapped by an electrical outlet or something. It's a gimmick in some sense what we do just to bring viewers and to remember. I mean, at one point prior to me deciding to make they never talk about it. Scar on his face, you don't talk about it, but oh yeah, he's the guy with a scar on his face. You don't say that to his face because he'll kick your ass.
Yes, he will beat your ass.
But that's kind of in the industry. You talk about it, and it's like the scar on my neck, the hair, the trumpet guy,
Yeah.
the smell.
Not
What was that?
just the smell. The smell is new.
That's good smell. Who was that? Luke's mouth. Luke's mouth. I thought some other kind of mouth of Luke's.
Sophia said thanks for the shout out.
Hey girl, I love my daughter, man. And this kids is one of those things you like. I never want to fucking have kids, but then when you have kids, you like to do without them.
Absolutely.
Girl,
I have 2 kids. I have a 33-year-old daughter and a
What?
24.
I had no where you're from.
Well, but it's so because right now, I mean, I started early, obviously, because now I can really just truly enjoy life and enjoy them. And
Yeah, and you
well,
could be
somewhat young, 20.
21 and 23.
So
From Alabama. He
and then and 10 grand.
I forgot about
his family. That's what it is.
that's nice.
Mallory's.
That's why he calls his company Mallory Unlimited. He's got 7 3
You're
That's awesome. Well, anyway, my point is how I get to just enjoy freaking life, right?
Oh man.
I'm enjoying work with my business. Obviously, I'm single my realtor training class. I just came up with a program called Aware and Prepared, and I felt like there was a need for the people that aren't ready for firearms, or just not just like, I'm right there ready yet. So I came up with a new program.
He's a guy that I interviewed. Now my mother died in January of 2020.
Yeah, I love Rhonda.
Who can I interview on Thursday? So you think
That's great.
I love Here's
Right.
what you need to think about, right?
Right.
Because people take the and I hate saying Massachusetts. Our get your license to carry with unrestricted. Thanks to Rowan.
Those liberal governors.
Our firearm safety costs, kid. I hate fight. You know what I'm saying? You stop packing a 9mm. You know what? Lists, in the gravest extreme by Masadi, right? Because Bible since 1977. You have to have this continuing education because the licensing course is really, it's the minimum that you need to know. You want to somebody on a, which is the only voice I have. I know the only. But people will say, hey, listen, you carry a gun. What are you going to shoot? Incident. I'm like, dude, I've been 54 years old. So, yeah. So you don't want to do that. So it's the beginning level of that you need to do. You need some continuing education.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why I developed that program. I felt like there was some that isn't. I mean, my other in that sounds kind of wacky, but
makes sense.
like they're in, we could hit this whole different market of spas where they're dealing with men and easy business owner, these employees, and how to respond in different situations. So
Yeah,
I'm really
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dave grab the mic. So, the wife and I got a gift certificate. Bree. And Bree is, so we go to this massage therapist place. And, hey, can I get a massage? I'm trying those accents like you're doing. I'm not very well.
You right a massage?
And
Just you, sir. You like a happy ending?
yeah, she go, no time for two. So, no, thanks. You're gonna massage. A massage. I mean, like a couple's massage is
it's
what
like
we were
a true
hoping for.
legit massage.
That's it. And we don't know if it was that or if she just was short staffed. Want to find out, so we left.
She did well.
we could have been like, well, can you do one of us? And then, right, yeah. And the door was locked, and it was just shady. And it was Washington State, so, that's shady. Anyway, that's my massage
Dude,
story.
so
and I'm
Washington
sticking to
State.
it.
So this is fun. This is what I don't know if Lucas. So I did some shows in got lit with his wife, Matt Deal from Aero Precision, and with a gal from the Pink Pistols out there whose name I'm not coming up with right now. But I was Derek LeBlanc from to stay with me and make sure like in between we went to the yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is one, right? Oh my God, the
Cordon off.
right, the
Coming here.
autonomous, and so the like all of this, these tent cities, and you know what the hell you're talking about. You go in there, these people go to property, they put up a tent, they put up a sign that says, "Let me see if I can." What? Easy, man.
Wow.
This is
The America we're in now.
yeah, America, peaceful. In Michigan. How far are you out of Detroit?
I live probably about like Detroit. I
Okay.
live right by the Detroit Metro Airport in a city called Belleville. Teach out there. I've got like 6 different locations that I teach out of, and I'm travel and do in home whatever. I'll show up and show out. But yeah, business has been really good. Mike Bauer, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with
Yeah.
Mike Bauer. They in his office has the most amazing, huge just instructors through, and he dots on the map. There was one, which meant that it's, and he told me it's the most instructors in an area. That makes it pretty difficult, to going and the students. But the one good thing is that, the word of mouth travels. And if you do a good job, so that's been working out pretty well for me. And also I'm female. So that
You have 100%.
How's everything?
Back.
Welcome back. Chimed in. I told my over Christmas vacay before, and
Right.
I told she and I were podcast like let's go. Come
Right.
on.
Let's
Come
make
on,
this
girl.
happen. My daughter, I didn't realize which this makes me feel, my daughter, we registered her for kindergarten today. And so that's terrifying. She has to spend her time with because she, no, it's good. I just, one thing I've always preached with my business earlier about time management for the crew. Sorry that y'all are having to be here so long. I'm sorry that y'all. So I can talk bad about family, the jobs that we do, right?
Oh. Sure.
It's our every day with our family, my family, with all of my staff at our production company. That it doesn't, because at the end of this, right, I might lose But what I am going to do is make sure with their family, they don't miss those opportunities. They don't miss those games. They don't miss all that kind of for myself because I am a workaholic. Ooh, I can come in here. I know the video guys can probably attest to it while they're not happy right now. Like if we were to let them loose in a room full of gear, they would play all night with the gear. It's what we love. It's our passion. And so I really staff, it was something that kind of forced me to step into that as well and be like, you know what? It's okay for me to step out and take a call. Family needs it. It's okay. I used to work a lot in cryptocurrency, and you asshole.
Wait a minute.
I meant the guy in the bathroom,
Okay.
not y'all. Y'all are my
course.
favorite. But no, it. And my daughter at the time, who was 3, would
My daughter at the time.
Well,
What was she been since then?
no, my daughter, comma at the time was 3.
So this is what I've learned from Robert. At the
I'm not good with commas, but I love that I'm fat enough I can just right here on my belly. This is good. But stream with me and everybody. I feel like that's why people came. He is a fire. Say like I'm big about like I want to make sure staff everybody else. Something that means we miss an event. That means that we have to find somebody else for them. Bad. Plus, it sounds like y'all got it. Like I was hiding so you wouldn't hear me, and I could still hear y'all laughing. So I feel like it was
better with Edge, but it was still good.
okay.
So good.
This got this.
Oh, you have one.
I have
Give me
one.
the fuzzy mic
I
back.
have a fuzzy one. My deal was this. I got this from a financial guy. He talks about motivational people and blah blah blah. Your kids to be good. Want to raise your kids to be good adults.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was like I'm
Love
like,
that.
you know what? I don't. What I want to be. I don't know if the girl's still listening.
That.
The-
It's just the boy and the girl.
This is exactly where it came from. A friend of mine sent me a text message. So the
Boy.
kids are the boy and
Right,
the girl.
right.
I just all of the commitment and the 1:00 in the morning editing shows
Right.
and working your busy email
Right,
to
right.
send out in 6 hours. All of that, you just want to be a positive role model for your kids.
You absolutely
That's
do.
all you want to do.
One of my favorite things. I have an 11-year-old boy, and I'm excited to do this with my daughter when she gets to the age to where I can trust her to come on set and not fire.
Boy Scouts.
Boys, no, not Boy Scouts. I like to. He works with shoots with me, and I have we have a full. So, like I said, I come from a production background, so we have a full production trailer, a full production company, film, big stuff. And I will take him with me to large jobs with large clients, and the clients will look at me like, "Why do you have an 11-year-old with you?" I was like, "I have a chance right now to be a role model to him for something he may not choose to do this one day," and I'm out of this. Why would I take that from him?
Absolutely.
All he wants to do is to be here and to learn from people. And in our production trailer, we covered we did like a highlight. I was walking inside like, "Hey, Dad, what do you need?" And I started naming off that most people would look at me and be like, "What are you talking about?" And he went to the trailer and pulled everything out. Had my
Oh my
big
God,
camera, my
that's great.
FX6 built for me. Is whatever I do, and I know that window of opportunity.
I heard this recently. It's we've all heard of the 80-20 rule,
Right.
And I've heard that is 80% of the time you're going to spend with your kids from 18 in a day, whatever.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be 20% of the
Right.
So that time from when your kids are in your house, that's super.
Facebook. We were like 13. Anything like that.
Oh my God.
And that hurts. It's like I love my kids. They're like I said, they will burn down your house in a second. They're mouthy as shit. My daughter, God love, she cusses like her father, and that's a problem. Realize until this was she was 4, so this would have been last year. Apparently, during that is when I really transitioned, and I would go. Didn't realize I was doing this, but it was a life and the and my wife's grandmother were leaving the house, goes out, my beautiful 3-4-year-old little girl walks out on the front porch and looks over like, oh God,
Oh, that's
crossed a line that we don't need to cross.
All of a sudden, it's like some weird cat was just like me.
Right, and it's so we've had to fight that a little bit, but all that stuff limited in that. Like I want to be inclusive. Anyways, that's one of the reasons. Like tomorrow, I get to teach at Shot University, and I'm excited. We have a 200 registrant class
That's
that we're
so
doing in the
awesome.
Murano Ballroom. It's going to be so much fun.
Cool.
But include my kids, and I think that is what's wrong with the world these days.
Yeah.
You think that's a big thing? Is out the keeping up with the Joneses. They're worried so much, and life is harder now. I get that. More, you don't make as much, your money doesn't go as far, but are turning into shitheads.
Yeah.
So when my kids were young, I did. I called it Nerf gun safety. It's over, and they were having a Nerf gun fight. Shoot the crap out of each other because she's not in the Nerf gun.
That's
fight,
exactly right.
you know.
In the Nerf gunfight, you do not get
out.
shot.
You're
That's
off
right.
limits. Absolutely.
Shooting, and then I get to shoot. Yeah, like we said, he's single and open for no.
Undateable too, Charlie. Don't
Undateable.
worry about
Oh, whatever. But no, I think bad things can be brought. Our raising our seeing what has happened. Absolute shit.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta go. Like, no, you don't have to leave.
There's
Matt, you wanna come
another
back?
party we're supposed to be at in 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Is it Rob's party?
I have USC.
Y'all all have to go then. Do you want to come say goodbye? All right, Amy, I'm going to take your spot.
Yeah.
He's going to take his spot back for a second. Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Amy, as always. Amy's one of my favorites. We've been good.
Very unprofessional to bring my phone up on the studio with me. But I get my daughter, and she says, "Need more alcohol down here."
That's what your daughter said?
This is what my daughter. No.
Okay, she's back at home.
She's 8 inches of snow and right,
Right.
online classes and all this bullshit.
yeah.
50,000. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
don't drink often because I'm usually armed all the time.
Right. So it's fun when you get to your lightweight, is what I heard you say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Where's the mic? like to play with cats, but
You-
not dead cats.
that Sorry.
So
Right.
what I used to. Hey, girl. So what I used to do was this when I was at my kids were they were alone.
right.
And
Good
not the-
movie.
not the Macaulay Culkin age where you're shit, but all right, here I told my son, I'm like, you're gonna have yeah. Safety, and then I did this whole thing with the kids. You know, talk about teaching kids how to be safe with
Right.
firearms.
Right.
Here's if we go to the range, everything goes fine. Nobody gets upset. The dollar ice cream cone is now $2.50.
It is. It's
$2.49 or something.
Right.
To go out to eat, and it was all. Here we're gonna. A staple,
Right.
and you're gonna stuff. Work, you're gonna do this sort of shit, and this is what you're gonna have to do so dad can make money, and your benefit is.
One of the big things that I recently have started like is great kid, and I want to say that first and foremost. He's from my ex-wife's.
Oh my god, how many ex-wives?
Right. I like that.
And then I have one ex-wife, but I've been with other wives.
Truth
Biblically.
tonight. Yeah, biblically, he
Give him
said.
some more of that.
So,
Watching the show.
yeah,
Like-
no, she just left. I'm sorry. What's your daughter's name?
The girl.
The girl. That's right. I'm sorry, the girl. I
Daddy's
apologize
been-
for anything.
Daddy's been drinking.
Daddy's-
too.
Albums or Christmas CD.
That I've done with my kid recently that I felt like has worked really well. Obviously, we all have buddies. I could call buddies and be like, look. Captains at the babysit. My 11-year-old's a worker. He grew up working. He knows what that's like. I was like, can I drop him off and let him work for you for the day? You don't. Because all Nathan did was took him off. But because he comes to work with me all the time. He idolizes everything I do. It doesn't matter what I do. When I was Leo, he
Oh,
idolized
that's
being
great.
Leo firefighter. He idolizes
awesome.
that, you know, and I love that. And he's at that aware of that.
Absolutely.
But a time where he is so impressionable, putting him with other this is
Yeah.
a constant.
Yeah.
I hope he makes incredible money off of Skin Dream these
Dumb
days.
money.
Right, dumb money. My stream's gone. I'm not sure what happened. We have plenty of internet, but my stream's gone. No, but y'all is good. I watched y'all's. So yeah, love it.
Your daughter and you're watching the live stream.
Yeah.
That's encouraging,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That is parenting 101 in the room.
I want to. You're both instructors. I want to talk about kids and firearms. The biggest questions I get all the time when I start talking about kids, because I'll be honest, I don't have him shooting much yet. He's shot some, but every parent has to make the right decision as to when you're ready to. As kids, what is your start to look at? I want my kid to be in this industry. I want them to start as young as they.
Like I said, when I called Nerf gun safety, when my son's friends came over to the house, you can't shoot your sister. Limits,
right?
But I've been doing the. I called family gungram video, and every Christmas I've picked a Christmas song that we're gonna do. I figured out who we're gonna turn it into a gungram. My daughter, they're not sponsors of the show. And have a good sense of time. I did was like. To the people in class all the time, even at 21 and 23, finger off the trigger. Cool. Yeah. What else? How do you check it? You check here, you check here. Awesome. What's the safe direction? You're not going to shoot it over the berm, right? We go through this stuff. You have to instill this into your unless they're in the fight, right? Every single time. I did a home in a Utah class at the same time, so people get their Utah permit.
Right.
And legit, these are. Can we get this? So it's 5 hour. Right. Can we do it in 3 hours? I'm like, no.
You get that in military, law enforcement a lot.
Right. And single time.
Yeah.
And to your question with that, the four safety rules with Colonel Cooper, I always like to emphasize in the sense, one, don't point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. I get that. But don't point the gun at something you're not willing to shoot. If you're doing UTM, if you're doing, CERT, if you're practicing and you're pointing it at somebody intending to shoot them, that's one thing. And that's like the force on force classes that I teach around the country, getting people to understand. I don't know what that says. Okay.
CT says, huh? Oh, CT. Oh my God, CT. CT is one of the guys that likes to follow. He used to follow the Polite Society podcast and the Daily Bullet, and he's one of the guys that's been around for forever. And I can't remember what his name is. I apologize, but I'll have another drink and it'll be fine.
That's always the answer.
Hey, CT.
So you know what we need to do? Next time we do this, we need to have a big screen up there that has
Absolutely.
all the comments.
Absolutely.
If somebody had handwriting that we could read, that would be nice too.
David, thank you.
CT is shook that you use the F word.
He's what? He's shunned?
Shook.
Shook? Oh, right. It's just
It's over my head.
Charlie After Hours.
I like it. There's the
Another
new
YouTube
show. We're
video.
scrubbing True Southern
Yeah.
TV. This is now
Got the
Charlie
domain
After
name.
Hours. Yep.
I'll have the domain name
Yeah.
secured tonight.
Looking at it right now.
So
Shit. Jesus Christ, I gotta get on GoDaddy real quick.
I'll get it before and sell it to them. Anyway, so when we were kids, we played cops and robbers, right? And you probably heard me say this, Charlie, with the pepper spray and other classes that we've done together.
One of the things that I love about you talk about the four apocalypse,
Yeah.
right? Or the four
Four horses of your apocalypse, yep.
I tell people all the time, I said, listen, here's the deal. When I teach a firearm safety course, the minimum of everything you need to know how to, whatever, get a gun license. But here's the deal. I tell people, here's my funny line. I might wear tights, but I'm not a superhero. So, right? So I have to protect me and the boy and the girl, and that's it. That is all. Because here's the deal: if I get if I'm involved in a shoot, or if I'm involved in a third party shooting, I am not. I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to have to buy an attorney a new house.
It gets ugly quick.
Yes.
Yeah,
And expensive.
absolutely.
People don't
Absolutely.
realize that. People think they're just going to buy a gun and then they protect themselves and they're going to go home and everything's going to be okay.
They're going to buy a gun and 10 rounds of ammunition.
Right.
With no practice.
No,
practice.
not at all.
So, and with that, like the the trifecta of tools that we talk about in the classes that I teach, you've got lethal, less lethal, and medical. And a lot of people don't even consider the less lethal or medical. They just go straight with gun.
Mm-hmm.
And the equivalent of that is walking around with a hammer expecting to run into nails.
Right.
What happens when you run
Right.
into a screw?
Right.
You're screwed.
Right.
You got the wrong tool for the job.
That's right.
So you need less lethal tools. You need medical. I mean, if you look at any of the wars back in the day, the wars that we've had, people died because of either infection or bleeding out.
One thing that civilians I think don't get as much, and you get this in Leo world. You go out and we have a police involved shooting. The first thing the press is going to ask is, was there care rendered to the patient? If you don't know how to render care to your patient,
No.
you're putting yourself in a hole before you even got it started. Like a simple CPR is great. Go get CPR. Everybody should have CPR. That's a whole. We can do a whole an entire show just based off the medical side of this. But realistically, like TCCC is such a great class. Learn
the
how to use
bleed.
a tourniquet. Stop the bleed is great. I carry it. You'll see, and I'm a big advocate. I love it. Mine I've got 6 of them probably within this room. And I'm a big fan of ETQ. It's something I've swapped to off of Cat. I love what Snake Staff Systems is doing. That's a plug that didn't have to happen, but I wanted it to. But a tourniquet goes everywhere with me because I know, God forbid, if I have to get in a situation as a civilian where I've got to pull my self-defense pistol and take a shot, I need to do everything I can to start to render care. But not only that, what happens, God forbid, I train. We all make mistakes. What happens if I shoot past my target and hit somebody else?
Innocent person.
This is why, like I like to say, I might wear tights, but I'm not a superhero. I owe it to. I'm gonna look at which camera's on right.
Any of them, yeah. Just go anywhere.
You had me at tights, by the
Yeah,
way.
look at the iPad. That's the one that's streaming the best right now. It stole all the internet.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh God!
No.
You were
I
superheroing.
might wear tights, but I'm not a superhero. I owe it to the boy, and I owe it to the girl. I don't owe it to anybody else. And I always tell people when I teach classes, somebody might attack you in the parking lot as we leave class today.
Right.
You might have sold crack to that guy's kid's sister, and you might need your ass beat.
Right.
And I might have to get a couple of fucking punches in as well.
Right.
But it's not my responsibility. So I will call the police. I will be a good witness.
Right.
I will turn my camera sideways.
Right.
And I will get some good video.
Right.
But I don't owe it to you because I'm going to get sued. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to, my name ends up in the paper. They
Right.
think I'm a vigilante. And for the people of a certain age, they think I'm, Charles Bronson. Right. They think it's fucking
Okay.
I'm the Punisher.
Right,
I'm
right,
Bat-
right.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Yes.
So I don't owe it to anybody except my kids for
Right.
that. I don't know it. And you know what it came down to is you talked about having an article about
Pyramid of priorities.
no, you talked to George
George Zimmerman. Yeah.
George Zimmerman, who
interview
is
I did.
no longer George Zimmerman.
Right.
But George contacted me. I met him at the very first gun right policy conference I went to.
Right.
I ended up, you ready for this shit? This is fun stuff, guys.
drunk,
I ended up buying his attorney. Well, I didn't know it was his fiance. But
Oh,
I ended
God.
up buying her drinks because I'm flirting with her because I'm like, I need to have George.
Oh my God, you're trying to sleep with George Zimmerman's fiance.
In all fairness, it's not his name anymore.
Well, okay. So that makes it fair play.
Right. So I'm like, how do I get Zimmerman on my show? Right. And legit, I swear to God. So this was in September of 2016. In January of 2017, I have a class with one guy who's a black guy, and George Zimmerman his face pops up on my cell phone.
Oh, God.
As George
I'm outta
Zimmerman's
here.
like, no, he called me up and he's like, hey, listen, you know what? My fiance, who's my attorney, wants to, she's whatever. She's gonna do some classes to pass the bar. I need a place to stay.
Right.
Can I come hang out with you? And I'm
Right.
like, swear to God, I looked at my son's bedroom like, George Zimmerman wants to sleep on my son's bed. He's going to come here for a few days. I'm going to take him out to the place that I go to and hang out and have drinks, and in the public opinion, right?
Yeah.
The what do you call it?
So the four horses of apocalypse, you got criminal, civil, mental, and jury of public opinion, which Masada Ayub calls the third court.
Right.
I don't want to deal with the people like my social friends being like, "Hey, there's some
You had George Zimmerman in your house?
There's some German Puerto Rican guy at your house,
Right.
right?
Well, he's a white guy.
Right.
That's what the media
sorry,
says.
he's a Puerto Rican white. He's a Hispanic white man who's Cuban and German.
He shot a kid.
At your house, like we recognize him. Who is he? His name's Jorge. Like,
So in my classes, I tell my students George Zimmerman changed his name because the jury opinion, when we get to the ICA, he changed his name. He told me, I took him out, my wife and I took him out to dinner a couple of years ago, and I said, yeah, he changed his name to Pablo Escobar.
oh,
Oh, jeez. Perfect.
And then everybody's like, no, really? I'm like, no. Yeah, he changed his name, but not to Pablo Escobar.
Right.
right. So you don't want to deal. You don't want to deal with that crap. You
No.
don't want to have to shoot someone and have people think, "Oh my God, you're the Punisher.
Do
You're
you-
Batman? You think you're fucking Reacher? You know."
And I struggle with that. Doing the interview with him back in 2018, October 2018, I thought, how am I going to set myself up in this industry? That was the first article I published that Amalan actually published for me in July of 2019.
Okay.
And I was worried that, interviewing for 3 hours, I wanted to be impartial. I wanted to make sure that I brought the story of what
Right.
happened before, during, and after that altercation with Trayvon Martin. And I was worried. But then in another sense, I said, you know what? If I tell the truth, who gives a shit?
Right.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
How do you think that? Sorry, real quick.
Low budget, Las Vegas shit going on.
When's the battery running out on these guys?
I have no idea.
We don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
That
Yeah.
one died already,
Yeah.
obviously. And that one
it's
too.
Fine.
He stopped
It's
holding the camera
okay.
up a long
We
time.
probably
ago.
need to plug that one soon.
What?
Can't you
We'll see you in
plug
a
it
bit.
or something?
Bye, Amy. Thank you so much. You're our favorite.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. So when we talk about the idea of the public opinion, right?
Yeah.
How do we think that the Kyle Rittenhouse, right? That was a very public. I mean, we got to see every bit of that, and what I really loved about the Kyle Rittenhouse. I want to phrase this right. What I love about the entire situation from a 30,000 foot view is we got to see exactly what it looked like from every perspective very publicly, right? Yeah. First, we got to see it from the police point of view. Then we got to see it from the public point of view. Then we got to see it from the court point of view. Definitely. And we got to walk all the way through this whole thing in a very public way. And I think a lot of the mainstream media expected it to go different than what it went, which is the only reason we got to see as much as we did. And I firmly believe that because I think if mainstream media knew the way that it would come out, they would not have covered it the way that they covered it. So how does a situation like that, how does that affect people now that are like, oh God, if I've got to protect myself, don't I? Now he came out on, I don't want to say he came out on top. I know he's gone through some shit, but like financially he came out on top.
Yeah, and
Yeah, here.
And civilly, he's getting sued now.
Right.
You know, he's got a civil suit. So I asked George Zimmerman, because I thought that was a good litmus test, if you will. I sent a message to George, or texted George, and said, what do you think about the Kyle Rittenhouse? If you could talk to Kyle, how would that play out? And George said to me, he came back to me, he goes, he'd probably say the same thing I said to you in the interview. And the last question I asked George Zimmerman at the end is, if anything, what would you have done differently that night?
Right.
And George responded immediately with, I wouldn't have left the house. To me, that
That's
means
fair.
he wouldn't have been in the fight.
That's right.
Because we always have this mindset, the black letter of the law, the law says I can do it. And I preach this so much in my class. Just because the law says you may doesn't mean you must. And if you do it, then you've got the four horses like we've talked about. You got
Right.
jury of public opinion, you got the criminal, civil, mental. You've got all these different aspects.
Right.
Thomas Yoxall from the mental aspect of it. George Zimmerman, he went through he called it his bad boy phase. I call it PTSD.
Right.
There's so many different aspects. Masad Ayub talks about the mental aspect of it, where people are. I'm sorry.
The mental aspect of it. You'll have to deal with understanding that you've taken someone's life.
You're killing me, dude. You're killing me.
So good.
Another YouTube channel starting up tonight. Charlie in his voiceovers. There it is.
CharlieVoiceovers.com.
The mini voiceovers over to Charlie.
Hey, somebody's gonna buy that. and try to-
Voiceovers.com is what it is. So we have all these voiceovers. He likes to do them.
When he's
These
wrong.
voiceovers. Everybody loves them. They appreciate. They are some of the best voiced overs that we have ever heard in our life. You know what? You need to check him out.
I'm enamored.
I don't know
were
what
we
to do.
talking
I have
about?
no idea.
Honestly, though, what I was going to say earlier, real quick,
Yeah,
Charlie and Clint are the best co-hosts I have.
I can imagine.
It's so and I never wanted to do this myself. I mean, I'm
We never wanted you to do it either, by the way. I just want to be. If you're
like,
Jesus, guy calls me up and says, "Hey, you want to do some shows with me?"
no, not. I sure don't. Yeah.
fucking this dry cop from New York. But yeah, so they're awesome.
So yeah.
they're great. Great.
Okay.
guys.
Okay. So
You almost out of battery.
one more.
CNT Design Arms wants to talk about the DA during
Fuck the DA.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my God!
Here.
Right. So I have a picture. So in my home farm safety class, I try to keep it fluid, and I have a picture. We call it the Bender finger,
Right.
where the prosecuting attorney Bender says that Kyle Rittenhouse is not smart. I don't know his voice, so I can't do it.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Mimic
But he
it.
says
You get a pass.
Kyle Rittenhouse is not smart enough, intelligent enough to handle a firearm. He puts I have a picture of him with his finger on the trigger, the bolt closed on an AR-15, and I'm assuming he's pointing it at the jury.
The jury.
Yes.
Right? So I'm like, okay, so this guy, the guy who says that Kyle Rittenhouse is not smart enough and educated enough to handle an
Don't you
AR-15,
love that? Yeah.
He's not smart enough.
bolt closed, pointing at the jury, and finger on the trigger.
It wasn't just finger in the trigger. It was deep in the trigger.
Yeah, deep.
Right.
Not just the tip.
It was not just the
this
tip.
is like you pouring
This
deep
was
finger in the trigger.
ABM kind of stuff. It was deep in there. Yeah.
Did you say AVN?
I can't say. I can't repeat it. Oh God. Yeah. But you're exactly right. Now, one thing too that I want to bring up and talk to you guys about from instructor level, because I love hearing this aspect of it. We've talked about it the past couple of nights. It's how I can tell a good instructor from a bad instructor. I don't have that problem with you guys, but there is a difference between just pulling a trigger in a self-defense situation and the mental side of pulling a trigger. And I think people don't understand. People go out and buy a gun. I worked with a gun store for a little bit doing marketing and worked front desk with them a lot. And I had ladies come in all the time. I was like, hey, I want to buy a revolver because I want to carry myself. Cool. Are you going to do any classes? No. Are you going to prepare for this at all? No. You don't understand what the mental toll of taking someone's life is like. And you have to choose. We talked about it last night. If I am in with, look, I am trained. I'm trained through Leo. I have my certifications as a trainer. Like I have a firearm a lot in my life. I've spent a lot of time putting rounds downrange. Yeah. It still doesn't matter if you find me in a mall with an active shooter and I've got even one of my kids with me or my wife with me. My objective is not to stop what's happening. It's to save the people that are my family.
Absolutely.
How do they say GTFO? I think is the phrase that they call it.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Get the fudge
Out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not your. like I said,
Not everything's your fight.
like I said,
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Right.
I might wear tights, but I'm not a superhero.
That's right.
I don't owe it to anyone else to save their life.
Right.
I'm not the Punisher. I'm not Charles Bronson. I'm not Batman.
Right.
I'm Batman.
You're not Kyle Rittenhouse. No, I'm just
not
kidding.
Kyle
Yeah.
No,
No, but-
here's the thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. So, I have a friend that I get together with every, once or twice every month. We have dinner, we have drinks, we have.
Talking about me?
Is it him? It's him, isn't it?
No, because this bastard ghosts me sometimes.
No, never. Never.
Let me check my text message.
Stop drinking.
So anyway, right, I stopped drinking. I did switch to water. I just want to.
Did
I
you
noticed that. I'm
For the
proud of
record.
you. Yeah. No, we're not.
Right.
So
Just- I
yeah.
wanna get that point.
Yeah,
Like-
we're gonna drink to a bottle of Jack's Gone. That's when this show ends. I hope your battery's good.
It was about 20%, right? 80-20 rule. When I started the show, 20% of full, 80% full, it was 20% full.
we digress.
Anyway, sorry. Back to Kyle
So,
Rittenhouse.
so
Yeah.
Kyle Rittenhouse. So a friend of mine said to me, a good friend of mine. Again, I have dinner with this friend of mine and her boyfriend, and he's like, "Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer." I'm like, no. Let's take a look at the things. The people were throwing a Molotov cocktail at him.
Right.
People wanted to shoot him.
Right.
And there was a video of the guy of Grusin friggin'
one that
whatever
pulled
his
the gun,
name
right?
is. Right. The guy who got his arm shot off.
Right.
Who came out and said, "I wish I would have shot him first."
Right.
Right.
Okay, I wish I would have shot him first means it's completely self-defense. He
Right.
fired shots. They hit their targets. They did not hit innocent people.
Right.
And so I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see what the issue is. He did everything that should have been completely cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think people think about the mindset of should he been there, and he didn't do anything illegal. That's the problem that we run into, where people, and that's where the whole four horsery apocalypse
Four horses, yeah.
that I created. You know, just because the law says you may doesn't mean you must.
Right.
And if you do something, that doesn't mean you're going to be escape free.
Right.
And if you look at Kyle Rittenhouse, George Zimmerman, O.J. Simpson, you look at any of these cases, they
Right.
all have had changes, major changes in their lives because of the decisions they made.
That's
Whether
right.
it's legal or not, it doesn't matter. If you don't want your life to change, and the pyramids that I talk about in my classes, you got the pyramid of priorities, like
Right.
you alluded to. Your pyramids are you. You are at the top of the pyramid.
That's right.
Secondary
Yeah.
is your family, the ones you love. Third
Right.
is friends that you care about. Fourth is strangers that you owe nothing to.
That's right.
And the
You owe
amount
nothing to. This is what I tell people when I teach a home firearm safety class in Massachusetts. In order to,
Tell us how you really feel.
New York.
Yeah, exactly.
When I teach these classes, I say, listen, if somebody attacks you at the end of the class, my deal is this. I'm going to turn my camera sideways. I'll call the police. I'm going to turn the camera sideways. I'm going to get good video because I don't know if you sold crack to this guy's
That's
kid's
right.
sister.
Right.
It's not my problem. It's not my responsibility. You probably should have taken the class 4 months ago.
Right.
It's not my deal. It's not my problem. It's not my issue.
Right.
But I will do what I can to stop this thing from happening.
Right.
But I'm
In a-
again.
And
I'm not.
and you've got to look at
it.
it from a perspective of God. So let's role play for a second. Let's say I go in the mall. Number one, you
He
have
likes
to,
role playing.
Oh, hello. I feel like you've got something to say, and I'm not sure I should let you say it.
you stop for a second. You're like,
I don't know what to do with this. No, but okay. So let's go into a mall, and let's say that a shooter decides to start shooting. Right. Number one, we live in an era where everything is filmed. Period. People are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know how to better say that.
So in Massachusetts, we call it retarded.
Okay. And we went completely off the PC side, and I'm here for all of it. But people are going to film. They're going to stop and film because everybody wants to be the next YouTube sensation.
Yeah.
They're doing what we should probably be doing, but instead we're just sitting here talking, hoping people follow us, right? But they're actually filming stuff and getting followers. Good for them. But everything is going to be filmed. So let's say I take an aggressive stance inside of a mall. I'm by myself. My family's not with me. And I think, you know what? I have a way that I can stop other people from getting hurt. There's nothing wrong with that mentality. That's why we carry, right? It is to stop a threat. And if we're in a position to stop a threat to somebody else, that's great. However, all of a sudden you've got 14 cameras pointing at you. You take an aggressive stance and you shoot beyond your target and you take out somebody in the background, a kid per se. then all of a sudden you no longer get to go home to your kids. It doesn't matter that your kids weren't there. You won't get to see them again.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know, and with that, like the the mindset of the pyramid of priorities. Well, think of it this way too. I had a law enforcement instructor say this in a class. Everybody think, and viewers, listeners out there, think of two people that you care about. I do this in my class. I'm not sure if I did it in the pepper sprayer class. Think of two people that you care about deeply. They care about you. You care about them, and you're going to put your life on the line for them.
Right.
Yeah, of course you would. But a complete stranger, you got to weigh that a little heavier, right?
It's heavy.
You don't owe them anything. Be a good Samaritan, but be a
Right.
smart good Samaritan.
That's right.
So I took a course with Michael de Bethencourt, who I had on my show, which is he's snowboardtraining.com, and he's got a Facebook page. I'll have a glass of water.
I was just going to say, more water. Wait, more whiskey.
More
More
whiskey is
water. So it's called Snub Noir, which I think everyone should check out for sure. But he said, I took a class with him, and he said, who do you want to get out of jail for? Who do you want to go to prison for?
That's such a great,
and that's when I'm like, the boy and the girl, that's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. I do not want my kids to go to not go to my gravesite.
Right.
But I would much rather see my kids on weekends during visiting hours than anything else.
That's right.
When you think of that, you got two people you care about deeply. You're gone. Right? Think about them. Everybody
Right.
think about two people you care about. You care about them, they care about you, and you're gone. You're no longer on this earth.
Done.
You're done.
Right.
You're no longer in their lives. Now they're mentally and financially devastated because you're no longer there.
Right.
For what? A fucking hat? A wallet? A car?
Right. Something.
Is it worth it?
I'll tell you-
There's nothing in this world worth
There-
dying for other than somebody you love.
That is exactly right. If I were to meet somebody on the street that was like, "Hey, give me your wallet," and I've told my wife this, I'm like, somebody comes up and says, "Give me your purse." Okay, everything
Give 'em
in
your
that
purse.
purse is replaceable.
You want my purse? You want my wife? Take her.
That's it, and it's whatever. She's expensive.
love you, honey.
No, I love her. My wife, I cannot get any better. I need to keep this one. But
She doesn't listen to the show. Don't worry about
she
it.
won- she-
might be.
My wife listened the first night with the kids until Michael started talking about jacking off a rifle, and that's when she closed it.
Oh
and-
my.
Yeah,
She should've taken
shake
pointers.
that sideways. But what's interesting about that, and people want to hate on Leo, and I understand. There are bad apples everywhere. I don't ever want to take away from that. There are people. Every job has bad people. There's just bad people. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where we have to start it as a foundation.
Yep.
But when you look in law enforcement, and I used to reserve with our sheriff's department and worked a whole lot with our guys on a lot of different levels. But we walked into a situation once, and this is just one example where you don't realize the position that anybody that draws a gun is put in immediately. People just think, oh, draw a gun and handle the situation, and that's not how it works. And you go out in public. For this particular instance was we walked into we got called to a scene that was a domestic. We got there. We roll up. It's me and my partner. My partner is black, and the guy
Why is race?
well, you're gonna see in a second. Unfortunately, it did play. Yeah, it played into all of this. We pulled into a trailer park, and there was a guy on the road.
Trailer park sounds.
Yeah, right. And we get out. And both of us start laying down commands. Hey, drop your knife, whatever. He starts backing up, going down the road, and he ends up at the first trailer in this trailer park. So at this point, we're in a weird position because number one, I don't have a camera on because they don't get the reserves cameras. That's a problem. It's not that I want oversight, but I want protection, and that's scary. People, there's two different things that happen there, right? So we start moving on this. He starts moving the car up. I start moving with subject. We get up, and as soon as he gets up to the trailer, there he stands with this ramp behind him, and all of a sudden, all 6 of his kids under the age of 10 run out and are standing on the ramp behind him with his wife, who is yelling at us saying
Hold on.
he doesn't.
6 of his kids?
Yes, under 10. Yeah, and he starts yelling at us saying, or the wife comes out, and the wife's standing there, and he's like, "Look, he's not crazy. He's not. He's okay. He's not going to hurt anybody."
6 kids under 10. He's not crazy.
Yeah, right. Idiot.
Uno momento, por favor.
So
At least you've taken that scope off of me having 10
Right.
grandkids. And
right. So
starting at 12.
Oh God! So we pull up, and at this point, my partner's got the car pulled up. My partner gets out when he does. His camera gets knocked off. He no longer has a camera on him. Our car's no longer pointed at the scene.
Oh,
I have no camera on me. So now all of a sudden we're faced with the situation of what do we do? He walks up to his wife, puts the knife on his wife's throat. So what I've got is I've
Hold on.
yeah.
I totally understand that.
He gets it. He said,
I don't think the girl is watching
Sorry, girl,
anymore.
child,
I
if you're
totally
watching.
understand
Yeah.
that.
No. So what I've got now is I've got a suspect on my left holding a knife on his wife's throat that's on my right with six kids standing behind them. I've got my partner to the left and I've got me to the right. Neither one of us with a clean shot. And all of a sudden he goes into this just incredibly racist, my partner's yelling commands. He's like, I'm not going to listen to you. And I won't repeat what's said because it's disrespectful in a way that I'm not okay with repeating. And so I'm like, okay.
As long as the direct quote is completely fine.
And so I started yelling commands. But as a police officer, even people don't realize in that moment, now all of a sudden our entire focus was taken away from the situation that was handled like, oh shit, how are we going to protect ourselves if I have to pull this trigger? God forbid. And I felt secure in the fact of I can take the shot. That's fine. You can feel secure all day long. But when adrenaline starts changing everything, anything can happen.
Everything.
But it's scary for a police officer.
1000%.
And people don't realize that. They think we just grab a gun and we're gun happy and we're ready to go. But it's like we are scared to death because we know that even more than a civilian, everything we're going to do is going to be put up on jury in front of everybody.
yeah. Yeah, I did a class in Ohio, and I had two Cleveland, Ohio SWAT officers in the class. And you think SWAT officers, highly trained,
Right.
UTM, the UTM 474.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
I might have told you that in the class we did. And they were on opposite sides, and one of the SWAT officers shot the other SWAT officer, but it wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to shoot the hostage taker, but he shot the actual hostage.
Oh, God.
I mean, it was
Oh,
UTM,
my.
so it was. But
Right.
the point is they're highly trained.
Right.
Within 9 to 15 feet, Tom Gibbons, 86.2% of the time, that violent encounters happen within 9 to 15 feet, and he shot him.
Right.
And it was like, wow. And I still have the vest that I use in the classes. I probably had it when I did it with yours with the rip in it.
Yeah.
And that was that SWAT officer shot the other SWAT officer right there.
Right there.
And it was the hostage because
Boom.
you can't pause it. There's no pause
right.
in a gunfight. And I
There's
say that
not.
all the time. You cannot, no matter how good of a shot you are, you may think you got the best angle, you got the best timing, whatever. There's no guarantee.
There's not.
No. And that's SWAT officers.
I had a bunch of I had someone contact me and give me a phone call. I was sitting at a Panera. And the guy
That is
calls
a
me.
target.
Exactly. It's yeah. So guy calls me. I'm sitting at a Panera. He calls me up and he says, "Hey, listen, do you work with new shooters?"
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm like, look, I teach band to
High school kids.
Right.
to instrument, like I teach bands. I do fundamentals. That's all I do. Side alignment, trigger press, side alignment, trigger press, side alignment, trigger press. That's what I do. And so he comes out and says, "Oh, look, I'm a SWAT officer. I didn't pass my qualification.
Wow.
Didn't
That's
pass
good.
my qualification.
I mean,
All
that's
wanna
not
learn-
good, but
Right.
Right.
come to you.
Right. It's good. It's good that he came for help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Do you work with new shooters? Absolutely. Absolutely. I bought some A's. Azum is not a sponsor of the show,
They are mine. Lyman.
but
Lyman
God
is a
damn it,
sponsor.
they should be.
Yeah. I'll help you with that, Charlie.
So he says, we go some shooting. We do some shooting, and low and left, and I'm like, okay, let's put some dummy rounds in here. Bang, bang, click, bang.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem, dude. Like
Just spin
that
the
is
recoil.
exactly what the problem is. And I said, you need to do some dry fire, and I did the whole the dummy round. What was it? What
Yeah. Ball and dummy.
the ball and dummy trick. I do the ball and dummy trick for the next, I don't know, 4 hour, an hour and 45 minutes.
Right.
He
Right.
said 4 hours.
He did say 4 hours. That's a
I
long
know,
time.
It's a long time.
God, I couldn't afford that ammo. Good for you. Yeah.
6 months.
premium.
6 months
Right.
later. 6 months later. I can barely talk. 6 months later,
I was thinking nobody's going to be riding shotgun with
No, not tonight. Tonight, Charlie's riding shotgun with somebody else.
We're doing walking shotgun with riding Uber with Charlie is what we're doing tonight.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun. I would be down for that. Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Driving
so
Daisy with Charlie.
6 months later, the guy, Shockingly, 6 months later, the guy runs into me at a liquor store. And he says, "Hey, are you Charlie Cook?" I'm like,
Maybe.
what's the right answer here? And
Who
he
are
says,
you?
"Listen,
Who's
I was the guy.
asking?
I was at the class. You know, we did the ball and dummy trick. I've been dry firing for 6 months because I'm
Awesome.
like, dude, you need dry fire.
Yeah.
Down and left, boom, like legit. When a police officer who is on the SWAT team says to you, "Do you want to shoot my gun?" Yes, I do.
Yes,
Yes, I
please.
do.
He thinks it's the
So-
gun.
Right, and then
Right.
I'm like, front sight press, front sight press, front sight press, and you get 3 shots that are almost bullseyes.
Same hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the gun, dude.
It's
No,
not.
dude, I love
it. It
Santa
is
gun.
never the gun.
This is what he did.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 click.
I love handing it back to them after that.
There's the
Yeah.
problem, dude.
Like
Are you
they
sure?
know they've spent good money
Right.
when you
Uh-huh.
like, no, gun's fine.
The
Right.
gun's fine, dude. Absolutely. And 6 months later, like I said, I ran
That's
into,
awesome.
went into a liquor store. He's just like, "Hey, man, I've been dry firing. This stuff's totally worked." I'm like, "That's awesome. This is what we
Love
teach
to hear
people
that.
for."
Give me a
This is
review,
what
Yelp, please.
Right.
5 stars is what we're looking for.
And on my Uber account. That'd be great too. Yeah.
Right?
And oh, by the way, do you want to?
Do you charge people when they ride with you? Could you imagine if like, you can do the show with me, but I need you to request me on Uber real quick. I'm going to accept this.
So cross promotion, baby. Wait, did I do? Was that a good Charlie?
That was a good Charlie voice. I
promotion,
liked it.
baby. Wait, that wasn't.
That was not it. But before you were good. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought so.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah,
great.
so
We should get drunk more often.
We should.
yes.
Wit says yes. Yeah.
Oh my
All of your staff is like, hell no, I want to go to
Yeah,
bed.
My staff's like, what?
Yeah,
All right,
God.
What time is it?
Yeah.
Why aren't you guys drinking?
What's
Yeah,
the-
why aren't y'all drinking?
You
Oh,
should be.
you are. Okay, why aren't you drinking?
Dave's drinking. David drinking.
Waiting for what? The gun. Oh, that's,
Guns.com
y'all need to go to that.
party
I'm holding y'all up.
started a
Yeah.
half hour ago.
Did
Y'all, y'all are supposed to go to
Yeah,
that.
we'll be fashionably late. That was my
I went to the gun-
impression
That-
of
that was
I went-
good.
I
was
went to
that?
the Guns Down Party Commie.
Kami.
Wait.
Kami.
Kami?
Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure you can go.
Let me have some water.
Who's the guy on Scooby Doo?
Wait a second, who's
guy.
the-
Yes, I don't know his
Who's the-
name. Oh God, what is his name?
Who's the sponsor of the Guns.com party?
Guns.com.
Guns.com, I think. Yeah,
Some com.
Some
some calm.
.com.
Ugh.
Right.
But anyway,
Yes.
Noble Equipment, refurbishing.
Who might that be? Yeah.
My line is this.
How many jerky packs? Hey,
How
this
about
is.
those Red Sox?
How about those Red Sox? Hey, how many jerky packs have y'all stolen from the Jack Links people so far?
none.
What,
I had
3.
not a one.
bro? I've got
Actually,
packs.
I looked at it and I was like, I could do some jerky, but I didn't have any.
Bro, and they've got a so Jack Links is like doing some I don't know, they're sponsoring this year's SHOT Show or something. So they've got
Hold
some,
on, uno momento for por favor.
oh God,
Don't spill your drink.
Jack Links.
Jack's Links better.
Yeah.
Jack's Links.
Jack's
Jack's
Links.
Links.
So
This is not just Matt Mallory's Jack's Links. It's everyone's Jack's Links. Jack's Links,
so
Jack's Links is Matt Mallory's other YouTube channel.
that's funny. So they've actually got some mildly attractive women downstairs handing out Jack Links at their.
Right, the mildly attractive women look like a fucking Sasquatch.
Whatever.
Sasquatch. I haven't shaved in a
I
month.
have purposely-
They're women that are like 6.5
Right,
feet tall.
that's right. Well, I've put in an extra 6,000 steps just to walk by their booth and steal Jack's Links every time I go past it. So if you wondered how many I stole today, it was 9. 9 was today's total. Yesterday was like 6. I will get at least to 15 tomorrow. Although they start making you scan now. So it sucks. But anyways,
Make
Jack,
you
so
scan.
fun story about Jack's Links is they own another jerky company. I only know this. So they're a big
jerking
sponsor.
going on here.
They're a big sponsor of Chad Belding, so I was with him all season, right? And so they own I don't know what the brand name is, but whatever the other brand of jerky they own is significantly better than Jack's Links.
Is that Jill Jack or
Yeah, I don't-
Jill Jinx?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's Jack Mihawk.
That's definitely the jerky that they
Charlie-
own secondarily.
Charlie's just taking my jack.
Yeah. Okay.
I was jacking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Y'all have got to go to a party.
I guess so.
I
This
guess
is so
so.
fucking fun.
Isn't
though.
this fun?
Fun. Give him a,
Amy's like, come to do the show.
Okay. Nick's got a question for you.
who?
Oh, for me.
Nick. We're not getting off. We're jacking off. I mean, we're having Jack Lake.
Okay. Are you asking me now or when we
Jack's
get done?
links off.
Right now? Okay. Tell me what you got.
Oh.
Oh God, he choked on Jack Me Off jerky.
Jack's Lynch jerky.
Sorry.
Driving down the road,
Yep.
someone pulls up, tries messing with you, road rage, whatever.
Okay.
Pull your gun out in traffic.
No.
So everyone in that entire traffic jam just watched you shoot somebody in the face.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat what he said because I'm not sure that people heard him.
Right.
Let me steal that microphone. He asked if you're driving down the road, you've got a situation where you're angry at another driver. There's a little bit of road rage happening.
Dude, I'm from Massachusetts. I am angry at every fucking driver there is. Jesus fucking Christ. I am pissed at the people that are doing the fucking speed limit.
But he asked if you pull.
Massachusetts is not a state.
Massachusetts is not a state.
Dave has been drinking too.
This segment is brought to you by
This whole room
Arrowhead
has gone to
Water.
hell. No, so he asked if that happens, and you pull out a firearm. Are you asking if it was in self defense? So someone else pulls a firearm.
It is, no, I'm saying you're doing it in self-defense.
Yes.
So like out in traffic, someone tries robbing you, someone tries attacking you, you're
Yeah.
a woman in traffic.
Okay.
You shoot him.
Right.
Somebody sees it. You guys go, well, do I jump in or not? But there's a lot of civilians who are going to try and jump in, just like in fights. So you have to deal with that as a civilian too, not just walking away. When you pull your gun out and shoot somebody,
Yep.
what if a bystander just saw you shoot somebody? Then you have to deal with them as well. What if they come at you with their gun?
So I want to take that and go to a different point real quick. Hang on, we're gonna come back to that because that reminded me of a different angle of this that was in the very first advanced firearms class I took years and years and years ago. Was brought up to me of if you're going to carry a firearm, please make sure I come back to his question because that's good. But
So hold on.
okay,
What was the question?
yeah, we'll get there. We're gonna come back to that, Massachusetts.
So this is brought to you by Arrowhead Water.
No, one of the things that was taught to me early that I think people forget about is if I go into an active shooter situation, if I go into an active shooter situation and I pull my firearm to stop the threat, 9 times out of 10, obviously, if that happens, I'm going to be there before the police are. What does that mean?
Right. So I like to say this. We call this an immediate responder, not
Right.
an active or first responder.
Right.
It's an immediate responder. So
Why can't we just call it a first responder? What the hell's wrong with that?
Because for first.
Okay.
Well, immediate's at the scene at that time.
That's fair. Okay.
First responder be the first person on the
Okay.
scene.
Okay. That makes
Outside
sense.
that
First-
situation.
That makes sense. Okay.
For
Okay.
first responder, we often think as the police officer or the cops or whatever.
Right.
They are the first responder, but an immediate responder is the person that's there.
Right.
And I've interviewed a number of people that are with Faster Saves Lives.
Right.
Or Faster Colorado, both of them. God bless them. Laura Carno and I've done shows with Laura Carno and Quinn Cunningham. They are the immediate responders because they're the people that are there when bad things happen.
Right. That makes sense.
And I like to tell people this: when the police response time.
Response time.
I can't even say it myself.
I love
Why I
you for
moved
this.
that over here.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
call.
so glad my daughter's not watching.
Yeah, no, she still is, I hope.
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, Dad! Like you're so drunk.
Yeah.
The immediate responder is the person that's there when they're there at the time.
Right.
The police are. What are we talking about?
I love it.
Let me help out.
I'm gonna let him take in here.
Let me help out.
Tag in.
I haven't drinking in a little bit.
How about those Red Sox?
Yeah, how about the Red Sox? Yeah.
Is his dead? Is Mike dead?
It's your mic.
He's got one. Yeah.
I got one.
We got 2 of them. Yeah.
So, no matter what you do, somebody on the outside is going to possibly think that what happened there in that situation isn't what they see. I mean, our 2 most powerful senses
That's
are
what I want to get
our
to.
ears and our eyes.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
when and in the analogy I use in my class, and it actually a lot of people piss poo on this guy, but this is something I gleaned from him, and no matter how bad of a structure you are, some of this stuff can be valid. Dale Brown.
Oh,
Detroit
God.
Urban Survival. I got
Right,
to
right, right.
I got to Taysdale back in March, which was
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
But one of the things that he said in my interview with him 3 hours was, you walk around the corner and you see somebody standing there with a guy with his hand on a woman's neck. You know, what are you witnessing? Well, you don't know. You just walk around. The guy's got his hand on the neck.
I'm going to go back to, you don't know who's a bad guy and who's a bad guy or who's a good guy. You could have sold the Machado.
I'm going to go back to Charlie and driving tonight.
Show the Machado.
Oh, so this is the most fun I've had in weeks, boys. Yeah, this is awesome.
So, show the Machado story is you don't know who the bad guy is and who the good guy is.
You don't know who the bad guy and the good guy is, and there's a good chance that if you
Not
pull
the bad
trigger,
guy, the good guy.
the good guy. But the instructor that I sat with first, what he told me was like, if you're gonna go in and stop an active threat because you're already on scene, so you're the immediate responder, right? So if you're already on scene, then there's a good chance that when the cops come in, you are the shooter.
Definitely.
And I think,
look, what it comes down to is this: cops don't know who the bad guy is and who the good guy is.
and it's not there.
They see.
Right.
I'm generalizing here. They see a dead guy.
Right.
And they see someone with a gun.
Right.
They don't know who the bad guy is. They don't know who the
Good guy.
Good guy.
They don't know who the good guy is. They don't know who the bad guy is. Yep. They see a dead person, or they see someone that's not responsive. They don't see someone that's responsible, and they
Go to sleep.
I would love to go to sleep
If we
right
start
now.
playing lullabies to the headphones right now,
I was
he is out.
I was supposed to be at another party 40 minutes ago.
I don't think you're going to make it. So there's...
How do I? What I really want to know is this: how do I do this show? You do the show every day?
Oh yeah.
Sign me,
yeah.
sign me fucking up, bitches. Sign me up. I want to do this every show.
This is great. This is
love
good.
this.
We're gonna have our own.
This is Charlie's. Hey, you listen. It's self-defense, and his 12-step program.
Like
Jesus Christ.
Amy's got her own perfume. You're gonna have your own alcohol. Soon.
This show is brought to you by Jack Daniels.
Drink responsibly is their title. That can't be it.
And we jack off. I mean, we have Jack
Jack
Links
Links.
while we're eating.
Yeah.
Or while we're doing it. So
there we go.
There's actually.
Go ahead. You're good. I'm listening.
So there's actually two different situations that we've seen in the news recently.
Yeah.
One is the Florida active shooter at the mall,
Okay.
where he has his gun out and he's trying to escort people out. He's waving his hand. The cops show up. They see a gun,
Right.
active shooter call. They shoot the guy in the back. He's an off-duty security guard at a Florida mall.
Hold on.
Black guy, and he gets shot in the back.
Well, first of all, what's that have to do with race?
Fuck you.
Second of all,
I had no response. Yeah.
right. He shoots him in the back.
Best thing I can come up with.
You're not supposed.
Right.
You're not supposed to shoot someone in the back.
Where's the back? Where's that line?
Where does that
So
happen?
Center line.
we have the equilibrium line, which I can't even.
I'm so proud of you for getting it out, though. Good for you. That was big.
That's a big crap.
That was big, yeah.
You have no idea how fast that person is. Dude, it is great. I did a Mag 40 class in fucking
Ohio.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with the guys from a lot of people from the Polite Society podcast. Polite Society podcast, which is now taking a high break. And Shlomo Shadi was talking about you can't shoot someone in the back unless they turn around really quickly and you've already this is what's great. I don't know if you guys know the people at California, Southern California. Who's the folks from Southern?
There's so many people that live there. I don't know.
Start.
Right,
Yeah.
it's the keep drinking, Charlie. It'll be fine.
That's why I moved that.
I'm gonna have to drink more to understand you. Hang on.
I'm just waiting for him to go.
too.
Yeah, and
I can't wait to fucking fall asleep tonight. Oh my god. But there was somebody in Southern California that said that the sympathetic reflex is already, oh my god, I need to shoot this person. Bang. By the time you press the trigger, they'd already turned around, and
Right.
you don't have enough time to stop that.
to stop that from happening. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And-
I love that the guy that's had the show for fucking 14 hours is looking at his clock.
No, well, I was looking at the text message because I think Michael and Curtis are coming back up.
Well,
So
they've already gone to Pincus's party and
and
return.
and come back. Yeah,
Yeesh.
yeah, I know.
This is where it's at, though. Pincus should come here.
Pincus is coming here tomorrow night. So here's what I suggest.
We'll be here until tomorrow
Oh,
night.
that's
so
perfect.
That's
no, here's
wonderful.
what I suggest. I'm sure you have things to do, but if you don't, you should totally come here, and then we will just do a whole episode about shit Pincus has put us through over the past years.
I like that.
I love that, and just put him on the spot, make him answer for it right here.
He'll sweat. We'll see.
He will.
Beads on his head.
Y'all are welcome anytime. I hope y'all know that. Yeah, this has been fun.
has been
And
awesome.
So here's the thing: I can keep going for days.
Good. All night
I know,
long.
don't you have a time limit on this shit? Don't people's batteries run out?
No,
For
I mean
God's
nobody's
sakes?
watching. It doesn't matter. I'm down. I'm down
What are we
to
at?
like my grandma at this point.
I can't even see.
We're at 2 hours and 48 minutes for the show time
We
so
broke
far.
the record. We broke.
Is that y'all's record?
No.
No, it's what's his name? He said the record.
All of the guys that work for Lucas have like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Yeah, they're out. I have no staff here at
You gotta get
all.
some They all
left.
Yeah,
They're like,
they
fuck
all
these guys.
left.
Fucking
Yeah.
David is still here. He's like, you
David,
know what? I
we
really
love you, David.
I really love
Matt wants to know who
So-
drank the JD. Well, this is the second bottle. There's an empty one sitting up there. I've
there
been in on
is.
Jack. You've been on Jack.
Amy's like, oh my god, so you're like coming late. So what do you want to drink? I'm like,
What'd he say?
Jack on the rocks is
He
fine.
wants to know who was drinking the Jack.
Right. So when Amy's like, so I'm not going to grab the Jack because it's going to be on camera. It's 20% full now.
Yeah. I'm drinking Jack out of my Delta Fuego cup here, and it says on the side, "This is my cup for the week." It says Delta Fuego coffee. Wake the fuck up. # not woke. It's a cup they make, which I love. But yeah, no, I'm down in Jack. I actually love. I'm gonna steal this for a second. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I'm gonna talk about Jack in. And this is the second time I've talked about him this week. So again, I go back to Chad's show from this year, but Jack is a big sponsor of Chad Belding's show. We go to Canada. Wait, go.
So my deal is this: I have I travel across the country. I
Okay.
interview 34 states I've been to.
Right.
I have 0 sponsors.
Yeah, me neither.
Zero.
It's fine. I mean, I have people I work with, but I
Dude, I don't
it's
have
a
anyone.
lot.
I play fucking hot cross buns with little fucking second graders to play to play fucking hot cross buns.
Yeah.
He's been.
This is fucking
now
bullshit.
Listen.
This is bullshit.
This whole
So
wait,
I'm-
real
No,
quick, real quick.
no. Yeah.
Biden in presence.
Oh shit.
What?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do people like? Oh my god, you can have like an alcohol sponsor? Really? Fucking. How many sponsors are there that drink fucking booze that sponsor like fucking goddamn NASCAR?
Right. That's exactly
true.
right.
Really?
That's
Like,
true.
I need a fucking whiskey sponsor.
Right.
I need a cigar sponsor.
No, you don't.
I don't think whiskey's your thing. I think maybe we look at cigars
Oh,
and
no,
maybe
I
water.
don't know.
Yeah,
I've got
water.
7 whiskeys
Aquafina.
in-
Agua.
Yeah. But no, Jack and them.
This segment's brought to you by Arrowhead.
Jack sponsors Chad. So we go to Canada and he's like, dude, all the guys from Jack Daniels are coming to hunt with us in Canada for we were goose hunting up there. I was like, that is fantastic. This is the best news I've ever heard. So they show up and they show up with all kinds of new alcohol. They show up with more alcohol than I think anyone can ever drink. One of their guys proves me wrong, who is he reminds me of you a little bit. And
I'm just trying to keep up.
I love it. But dude, they are some of the Jack staff. Have you ever been to Lynchburg? Have you ever got to go tour the Jack facility?
Back
No.
in the 1990s,
Right.
back
The
in-
1900s,
in the
right?
1900s.
1800s.
Exactly. I was playing with a band in Nashville, Tennessee,
Okay.
and we went down to Lynchburg, and we got to stick our finger in a bat of fucking Jack.
Yep.
Which was really cool.
Yep.
And that was
It's cool. They have what I love most about them, when they came up, we talked when we sat down and we did interviews with them all and that kind of stuff. And they have an incredible staff. And one of the things that I really loved about them is they were just like very, very good dudes who were like, you know what? Like, life doesn't happen without us.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like, and
Life
it,
doesn't happen. That's the new fucking. Instead of drink responsibly,
Right, life-
Jack Daniels.
life doesn't happen,
happen without us.
But like
Life's-
they're right. It's like how many times do we sit down and have just a bottle of Jack? Now we're from Tennessee, so it's different for us. I know it's probably a little different for y'all in
It's
New
like
York.
water for you guys.
Yeah, that's it. It's what we grew up drinking. That's all we know. And so I love not just Jack, but the company of Jack. And not only that, if you meet guys that work at Jack, guys and girls that work at Jack, you will quickly learn that most of their staff have been there for their entire life.
Wow.
They're
That's awesome.
they're
Good company.
It's incredible company, and so I love that. So, anyways, I didn't mean to get sentimental in the middle of his
Blubbering.
Blubbering
mess.
is the lower. It comes.
So we
to-
need
I
to go
love
take him to Pincus and get him.
Could you imagine the hell the Pincus would give them right now?
I want rub my P10.
Okay, so wait a second. I do want to come back for a second. Wait, go ahead. You've got something, and I can't not listen to it.
So
Yeah.
my deal is riding shotgun with Charlie and interviewing people in the cars. We drive around and talk about
Right,
that
and
shit.
but you do that sober, thank God, for everyone. Yeah,
Always.
Relatively sober. So Rob Pincus was doing a gun makers class down at Cape Gun Works. God bless Toby Leary and Brendan Gunworks. They're my boys. I've been doing Utah classes at the Cape Gun Works in Massachusetts, in Hyannis, Massachusetts, since 2013, 2014.
right.
What are we talking about?
You were talking about Rob Pincus.
Pincus. Oh yeah. So he did a gun maker class a couple years ago. It's the only show that I've done. Is the only riding shotgun I've done.
Right.
Where I've put people on, like, I just put tripods up and interview people. These are guys that have 3D printing guns and all sorts of shit.
Right.
So I looked at Pincus. I'm like, so now that 3D printing guns is legal, can we 3D print a gun our own fucking PD-10?
And how did he respond to that?
He says,
The boys are back.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we'll have that conversation later. Hey, Michael and Curtis, just jump back in the room real quick. Hey, how did Rob's event go? Good, bad?
Is it over?
It's good. It's over. Did they miss us? Yes. I know they missed Charlie. There's no question. I think you were in a block party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he would have taken a lot from
Or
it.
take
So it's a 80% rule.
Right.
20%.
You can't count. It's on the way.
It's an 80-45% rule.
It's like
And
Obama.
20% of it.
There's 60 countries in this village.
It's the 80-20%. 80% of the Jack was here when Charlie started. 20% is left.
So we know he can drive, sorta.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't let him
I'm
count.
telling you. So what?
Obama and Biden and Charlie Cook.
What's crazy is he's still more coherent than Biden is on a good day.
Totally.
1000%.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're still doing better than the president of the United States of America. Good for you, Charlie.
I hate to say this. I can't even do an impersonation.
You're doing it.
I can't.
It's happening live. Yeah.
I bet you he could walk upstairs without falling and ride a bike.
Bet he
Even
could too.
probably
Oh
could.
my God, the bike.
Did
thing.
we answer your question? 'Cause
No, we
we've
did
been
not.
Okay.
No, we did not.
We've been going around like
full
this.
What's the
circle.
question?
Okay. Come back here.
How about those Red
Take
Sox?
this microphone.
I
and ask
want
the
to.
question.
I
so
want to
that-
answer that question.
Yeah, take this and
When's
answer
the
my-
battery gonna die in these fucking cameras?
Here, talk to this too.
Go ahead.
Talking both.
So, when you're driving down the street and someone's mad at you, you cut them off, you did whatever. For some reason, they're coming up trying to attack you. You're driving in your car, and you pull your gun out on them because they're running up on your car. A lot of states that's legal, depends on your state, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Providing you're legally all right, you pull your gun out. He tries dragging out your car. You shoot him. Then everybody at the traffic light around you sees you just shot this man without knowing the context because they didn't hear it because they're in their cars.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those guys have concealed carry weapons? How many of them try and step up and stop you? What do you do in that scenario? Because then if you killed the first person, then someone else pulls a gun and tries shooting you and you shoot them too, that could
I
escalate
see.
into a lot.
Yeah,
How do you
for
prevent
sure.
that ever happening in a mall, in traffic,
Anywhere.
anywhere? Because look at fights. How many people jump in just because
Right.
their friend is?
Right.
How?
You set your gun on the ground.
and you call it a day. If the guy comes after you at that point, then you pick your gun up and because he is now a threat. Otherwise, you're going to prison.
Michael said you put your gun down. No one can hear him.
You're
But
going to enjoy Taco Tuesday because
Right.
you just initiated threat. You're no longer
right.
the person that is being
Did you say Taco Tuesday? Why do you, why do you,
Charlie checked out.
We just
Charlie
lost
checked out.
why do you
Charlie
assume they're
completely.
Mexicans, for
And
God's
there
sakes?
goes Charlie.
So, so I guess my first thought process to this would be, if you insult and stuff, but justified in defending yourself against, and then you have other people that don't know the context of the situation. Maybe they heard something or saw something, but they don't have the full picture between seeing and hearing.
Right.
Then you definitely need to be able to articulate to them. So I call it the you got to give them the ATM. So something I say in my classes is you got to ask, tell, make. You might not be able to ask them to drop their knife as they're stabbing you, but you sure as hell better be telling them to drop the knife as you're screaming at them as you're shooting them. Because if you're telling them to drop the knife as they're coming at you to stab you, as you're making them drop the knife by shooting them, which would be kind of the scenario you're talking about, other people will hear that. And anytime, like if somebody kicked that door in right now, we're all going to, after we jump, we're going to look. Because
I'm going to let Charlie handle it. I think he's got it, to be honest.
And so if somebody jumps in the class, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put
I'm going to just give him Jack Daniel.
I'm going to put Matt Mallory in front of me and use some of the mix.
Yeah.
Shoot,
Anyway,
Matt. I don't give a shit.
No,
But that's a fair question because when, you're right, in a fight and anything else, people want to jump in, people want to be heroes. We're in a world where people want to be heroes, especially if there's something recording.
Yep.
And so how to combat that, I've got no idea. I do know that that using your voice is the biggest thing you can ever do. And it's funny that most people don't think about that. Like, I'm gonna pull a gun and scare somebody. No, please yell at somebody.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pull your gun, yell as loud as you can, be as angry as you can, do what you have to do whatever you have to do to not have to pull that trigger.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do, because once you pull that trigger, your life changes completely.
I like to tell people you have to hire an attorney to prove that it's legal for you
Right.
to do all this stuff. So you're going to have to spend $150,000
or millions if you're talking about Zimmerman or
absolutely.
Rittenhouse.
I interviewed Marcus Weldon. He was known as the Santa Claus shooter. So if you Google the Santa Claus shooter, he spent $50,000 to prove that it was illegal for him to justify it and shoot somebody.
Right.
And it's not even that he shot somebody. He shot at somebody. He didn't shoot somebody. He didn't kill anybody. But it was $50,000 to prove that it was justified. They charged him with 7 felonies. And they're like, "Hey, listen, just fess up.
Right.
Just like take the 7 felonies and call it a day."
Right.
And he's like, "No, I'm not. That's
It's
bullshit.
Well, and-
right. It's bullshit."
I mean, well, you got.
You like that?
Yeah, I did like that. It was
It's
interesting.
bullshit.
I like that. But Mossad, like Mossad Ayub, right? You got the affirmative defense. If somebody said, "Hey, you robbed a bank," what are you going to say? No, it wasn't
right.
me. I
That's
didn't do it. I got an alibi.
Right, whatever. Yeah,
Right,
you've got
but
1,000 excuses.
If you say, "Yes, I shot that person in self-defense," that's an affirmative defense. Military, law enforcement. What's
Right.
affirmative mean? Yes, I did it. You're admitting that you did it, so you have to have a solid, ironclad defense against that. And if we look at somebody, somebody else could say, "Well, no, that person, the bad guy, because they had a gun."
Right.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong, but that doesn't mean a DA. Exactly. So
Any one of us shoot somebody, it's completely different
So,
than
million
somebody that
percent.
does not have any training.
Because you're held at a higher standard.
Yes.
Law enforcement, military, law enforcement instructor,
Higher standard.
totally.
Higher
And they're going to
standard.
look at it. You should have had more reserve than the average citizen that you teach.
Right.
And I've had numerous encounters in the public with stuff like that. Afterwards I've said, man, I'm glad I handled that like I teach my students to handle it. Because if I
Right.
didn't, imagine how they would make me.
That's right.
No matter, I know the DA. Doesn't matter I know the DA. I have drinks with the DA. I get a cell number, my local county DA. But that governor in New York State or that attorney general who hates us.
Or Karen
Karen?
Hochul.
Karen is
Karen
her
Ho-
name.
I used to call it this the unelected governor, Karen Hochul.
The one that had the...
I was doing a Polite Society podcast one time. Paul Lathrop, who's a very good friend of mine, we
guy.
were doing this thing called the Daily Bullet with a Polite Society podcast. he went through, I don't know, 27 different things. Like,
Wow.
and here's the funny thing. He kept the camera on me as he listed all of these things. And I'm like,
Because you're awesome.
right. Do I follow? Do I follow? Do I follow the the Google Doc of what he's saying and
Right.
and synchronize this shit? You know,
Right.
that'd be fucking funny. But all of this stuff is bullshit. Is bullshit.
But that's what we're fighting against.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We're fighting against that stuff where you have like the four horses. I talk about the criminal, civil, mental, jury, public opinion, and then you even on the criminal aspect, you've got the governor that can step in and appoint somebody like they did in the Zimmerman case.
Right.
You know, you've got federally where the Department of Justice steps in and actually charges the guy in the Rodney King case, where two of the officers are still in prison today from the 80s. I mean, people don't get that. They don't understand that. So
No.
so
The
back
nine-
to your thought process on that. You know, in that situation, yes, and like Pinka says, do what you need to do to defend yourself, but then you got to be able to articulate and
You have to answer for what you do. Period.
million
Period.
percent. You got to be able to articulate and authenticate. How do you cover your ass? Masada Ayub.
CIA, can you articulate? That's what you need to know. Can you articulate all of the stuff that you're talking about?
CYA, cover your ass.
Cover your ass,
If
yep.
you cannot
Articulate.
articulate.
And authenticate.
I was in fear for my life.
Yep, totally.
I was in fear for my life, and then you have to be able to tell what happened. You have to be able to calm yourself down, because if you get into this kind of situation where no matter what it is, if you got to draw a gun, you got to fight. Anything that happens outside of your normal, the adrenaline is absolutely going. What?
No, don't do it.
God, I can't. I'm not gonna look at him, Curtis. I can't look at him. I'm gonna look at you, my BBF.
Hi, Curtis.
My big black friend, or my best black friend. You can call
did
it
this
whatever you
little-
like. Yeah.
Not that race has anything to do
Race
with
has
it.
nothing to do with it. Oh, look at that. I put the microphone back on this mic and it now sticks to our mics. You're welcome. But no, I think
I wish you would have figured that out 2 fucking hours ago. Jesus Christ.
okay. Yeah, you can do it with yours too. You can just stick yours right up there. But no, you've got to be able to walk yourself through what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You've got to get through the adrenaline rush that you're going to fight with. And that's the one thing I feel like we talked about it last night. But like adrenaline controls everything that happens in that situation. You have to be able to control yourself, bring it back down, because what the police don't want to hear is somebody that sounds like Charlie at a fucking crime scene where they walk up and they're like, oh yeah, everything bad happened. I don't know. It's just they came up with a gun.
There was an old one.
There was a, yeah, and then there's weird impressions and shit happens and shit gets weird, right? That's
Listen,
not.
I had no idea what was going on. There was nothing wrong with anything. This was the best crime ever. I'm telling you, if there were crimes,
God.
this was the
This
best
was
crime
the best
ever.
one. But no, but there is going to be a body cam. Something
Yeah.
is going to record that. They're going to use that in court against you, period. And so not only that, but then I still think when you talk about the pyramid, the fourth is your biggest one. That public opinion is still the biggest one that affects people today, because you at some point, no matter what you get, if you get 20, if you get nothing, you have to go back out in public and you have to face that. And you look at the what's the girl's name that just got out of prison for killing her mom? What was that girl's name? There's big headlines everywhere. I can't remember her name.
It's so big we can't remember it.
Yeah, what was her name? Rosie, yeah.
O'Donnell?
No, not.
Wrong woman.
But no.
Sorry.
Rosie O'Donnell.
But we saw with her. Hell, she spent. However, I think she spent 18. 10. Okay, 10. So she spent 10. 10 years. This shit went away,
Yeah.
and on the 10th year, that shit came back. It's going to come back when you get out of prison, no matter what you do. If Kyle Rittenhouse would have got sentenced for whatever reason, which would have been stupid, but if he would have got sentenced and it didn't matter if he was 25 in, he would have come out at 25 and it would have made every major headline when he came out. You're going to have to deal with the public opinion, and it's going to affect your life in every single way. And so that's a big deal.
Public opinion is really what it comes down to. Like you said about, I was teaching. We were talking about George Zimmerman.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a message. I was teaching a home farm safety class to one single Black American from Springfield, Massachusetts.
Like Curtis? Did he look like Curtis?
He was a little taller.
A little taller, he
A
said.
little taller.
Said it right.
He did say it right, though. I was impressed. Yeah.
So I get this. I legit. I have my phone hanging on like this what do you call it? The white camera, the white screen, the white whatever.
I
The
can't. I mean, this is going
the
to-
whiteboard, the
I
whiteboard,
don't
the
know.
whiteboard, the whiteboard, the whiteboard. And Zimmerman's name pops up. I get this one guy in a class.
We're gonna have to go to Rumble. We're not gonna be able to be on YouTube anymore tonight. I don't think.
Trying to help Charlie, but he's not doing me any good here.
So much
he
fun.
sucks at charades.
It's the
If we ever play charades, Charlie, I do not want to be your partner.
sounds like
Do you want me to come sit in the middle?
No.
So are you all right? So are you ready for this shit? I don't know. You were not here for this. You were not here for this. Go ahead. All right, come on.
Oh God.
There we go.
Oh God. Okay, we're adding more people. This is not gonna.
It's like an
So
Oreo.
I was doing a show.
He's now going to tell everybody he's got a black best friend. You see where this is going, right? Okay.
Where's Rob?
This is completely true. I did a show with Argo J. Argo J was a guy that builds AR-15s
Right.
in Milwaukee, and somebody sent a gun to the gun store that he worked at, and it was not necessarily what he said was this. He says some guy came in and dropped this gun off and says, "This is a gun that we don't sell to these N-word people."
Oh God.
And
Ooh.
so
That's fucked up.
I'm filming a show. I'm being very careful here. I'm filming this show in Milwaukee, and
Right.
Argo J says, "Hey, listen, this guy brought this gun in. Says, listen, this is a gun that we don't sell the N-word people." I'm like, obviously, it's a high point.
Right. Obviously, is a high point. Curtis, I'm so sorry.
Right. So I talked to my friends, and I'm like, all right, so here's the deal. I got this guy that used the N-bomb on my show. And then I talked to my friends. That push the limit. They're like, dude, you didn't say it. And then I talked to my friends that do not like to push the limit. Like, oh my God, dude, you can't say this. So you know what I referred back to? I referred back to Mr. Audio, but I'm such a direct quote. And he said, this is a gun that we do not sell to. We do not sell these nigger guns to people.
Oh God. That's what he said.
This is a
just
direct quote.
Direct
This
quote.
is a direct quote. So it's,
sorry, Curtis, you missed. We're allowed to say
it's
direct.
perfectly fine.
We're allowed to say direct quotes.
As long as it's direct quote, it's perfectly fine.
We'll explain it later. I'm so sorry.
I
Okay.
know, right. So Argo
He's like
J.
Silent Bob on the show.
He is. He just sits here and makes expressions. I love
So,
it.
If you go back to Riding Shotgun with Charlie, look for Argo J.
Yeah.
I have two black people in the car. I have Argo J and Rhonda Izell in the back of my car, and I'm like,
Also known as Rosanda.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do about this, right? And so I let everything go. I let everything slide. I put it on there. I put it on the show. I didn't edit it. So what are we talking about?
I don't know.
I have no fucking idea.
Rifle, Argo J.
Right. So
Some of
He
them
was
black friends.
racist. He said the N word. I don't know.
So, right. So I'm like, this is not my deal. I didn't say the N word. This guy did. It'll be fine. And then this is really what it came down to. I'm like, even YouTube doesn't watch my show to check.
My ratings
so
up
few
too.
people watch a YouTube doesn't see it.
YouTube
Yeah,
people watch Riding
right.
Shotgun. Not
Same,
even YouTube
same, yeah.
watches this. To see if I'm
YouTube doesn't
using
even
the
know I have a
N-bomb.
channel. Yeah,
You know,
it's great.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because when we were doing some of the lives, people are touching guns like Mike and Brent Lentz and stuff, and I'm like, wait,
Oh, yeah.
we're doing live. We can't touch guns. We're like, yeah, but are they really gonna know? I mean,
watches this?
Yeah.
I mean, our whole 5 listeners,
Right.
and
Right.
All
20
7 of us.
viewers,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
We did a show with Gabby Franco.
Yeah.
It was in a competitive shooter from
Yep.
Venezuela. And I said, listen, you know what? You can't hold the Walther firearm, but I said you can put it behind you on the shelf.
Yep.
So I'm
prop it
like, I'm right. So I'm like, I'm going to take you off the video, right? I'm going to take
Okay.
you off the video, and you can put the gun on there. And when you're done, I'm going to put it back up, and you can show it, and it's perfectly fine. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Have you?
So I think in Massachusetts, the way it is, the way they say it
Wait,
is,
wait. Come back. What was that last word you said?
in Massachusetts, the way they say it's fucking retarded.
Okay.
All of a sudden, fucking Macky Mac.
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Do y'all,
Maggie and the Monkey
do y'all
Bunch.
ever have those shows where you're like, you know what? If they would force this on everybody in our industry to watch, we would be the most watched show that ever happened.
I know, right?
That's how I feel like this show is right now.
Exactly how it is. My deal is this: everybody knows who I am.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you, Ashley Lubinsky knows who I am. Mashada Yub knows who I am. All these people know who I am, but I have a YouTube channel. Nobody knows. Nobody fucking knows.
Love that.
Nobody fucking knows.
I've got a question. Because how does Coleon get away with all his gun handling stuff?
He's really white.
That's it.
So am I.
He's
What's
the.
your point?
That's also accurate. Yes.
Uno momento, por favor. Have you seen Coleon without a hat?
No.
He's bald, isn't he?
You haven't. I found a picture of Coleon Noir without a hat, and I put it on my Instagram. I don't know, a couple years ago.
And let me guess, he sent you a cease and desist.
He did not send me.
Oh, that would have been so good though.
This would have been great. I put this picture up, and the comment, the stuff I put on Instagram is, I used to think the people that watched Superman and didn't know the difference between Superman, Clark, and Kent were fucking retarded. Those were not the exact words I used. But I'm like, I put a picture of Coleon Noir without a hat on, and I don't take this. Don't drink. You ready for this?
He should take his own advice. He should take his own
He
advice.
should. That's great advice. Tell us more. Yeah.
He looks like a black guy. And I put the picture of him with a hat on, and I'm like, it looks like Coleon Noir. I'm like, you don't know the difference. It's like Superman and Coleon Noir. It's Superman, Coleon. When Superman wears glasses,
right,
you have no idea he's Clark Kent.
Right.
When he takes the glasses off, he fucking gets a curlicue. He's Coleon Noir, or he's Superman. When Coleon Noir doesn't have a hat on, he's a black dude. When he puts a hat on with a fucking flat brim,
that's valid.
It's Coleon Noir.
That is valid. That's a solid point.
I'm like, you have no idea.
I don't know how we did not get to answer your question. Somehow or another, we went around a whole round of shit.
There was a question there?
There was a question, I think.
I thought that was the answer.
That is the answer. It's because it's white. But beyond that,
CT Designs and Arms says all of your social credit scores are negative right now.
oh, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's how I'm good with that.
All right, I'm out of here.
You know what I did? I did a fucking. I did a gungram of the Chinese national anthem.
Oh God.
Playing the trumpet, shooting a gun, and my social scores went up.
I did a China balloon. We shot a China balloon.
Did you?
Yeah, and we found some. We gotta have
Yo, you got a microphone. I'm sorry. God dang it.
low budget shit.
Yeah, right. Can't anybody do production right here?
B level crap.
Is this bad that I have to go to the bathroom?
I do too.
Oh,
but we're not going together.
No, y'all.
You've been promoted.
I've got no. Okay, real quick. So, oh God, he's taking everything with him. Okay,
Yeah, just not the jack though. That's
hey, what's the over under that he falls asleep on the toilet in a second? Because I think there's a good chance that shit can happen.
I agree.
And I'm here for it. And if so, we're taking the camera to the bathroom.
Guys, listen for a
11 to
thud.
5.
If you hear a thud,
Right.
rush to his aid. We don't want him to drown.
You're all taking the thick, sharp, marky.
Marky?
How
Well, how much you been drinking?
apparently, you
What's
should go
a
with him.
marquee?
Yeah.
You mean a
Sharpie.
marker?
Sharpie.
And writing the big dick on.
Big dick on his face if he does that. I agree. Okay, I want to talk about that for a second. It's interesting because you're right. When we talk about YouTube and what people can get away with, why can people get away with stuff? And I mean that. And I've wondered a lot if YouTube, if there's an algorithm that lives in YouTube that says, you know what, they're breaking the rules, but we're making enough money off of advertising.
I think it's actually more.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Hang on.
He has the microphone with him.
Oh my God, that's amazing! Can you hear him? Is he taking a dookie or is he going piss right now?
It's number one.
It's a number one. Okay.
At least it's the number one.
So, somebody want to go knock on the door and say,
No.
"Hey, Charlie,
Let's not tell him till he gets back, okay?
we got some ambient noise out here." That we
No,
wanna get rid
I
of."
really want to get his response when he gets on a microphone, so let's just wait
Let's
and
just sit
pretend
here
it didn't happen.
Let's just sit here and watch him. As
Yes.
he comes out with this, like,
Charlie Cook just had a hot mic moment.
he had a Biden moment.
Yeah. Oh, he
He
did.
had a Biden moment.
Yeah. Hey,
Ice cream?
Hey.
tell me something real quick. How did your number onesie go?
How did my number onesie go?
Because we know.
We heard it all.
I have a microphone.
100%.
You do.
He just went to the
He was
bathroom
asking
with a
if he had a
microphone on.
microphone.
For those of you that are listening, for the two of you on my stream, he had a microphone on.
I think I'll take my leave and go not be.
No, I'll take the mic from you. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Go relieve myself.
Yeah.
How about those Red Sox? Yeah,
How
don't
about-
put the microphone on you? I've had this thing on for so long. I have no fucking idea.
My ex-wife, we were. I used to shoot weddings back in my early days of my production company.
You should probably rephrase that.
I used to film weddings. God, leave it to this guy. So used to film weddings, and we put a mic on a groom. I went to the back. I was monitoring audio. The groom then looks at his best man and says, my ex-wife, but at that time my wife was working with me, and she was a camera operator. And she's like, he said, I'm gonna tell you something. I'd take that camera girl to the back and I'd do some nasty things to her. And I'm sitting here listening on the headphones, like, oh God, I don't know what to do now. But also, if I would have known now what I knew then, I'd be like, bro, take her, please. She is yours.
Save me the
money. Take it right now.
I legit, like, I'm halfway through a and I'm like, this feels like Leslie Nielsen. Do I have a microphone? I'm like, shit. Fuck. I'm so glad I don't have a prostate problem.
That would have been the best.
I'm just glad it was the number one.
Legit, I'm like,
sprinkle.
How long has this show been going on? Don't they have batteries that run out? Jesus Christ.
I was really trying to figure out how to mute it, and I couldn't.
No such luck.
He could not figure out how to mute
And when he says he figured out how to mute it, he looked at it, saw it was recording, and looked at us and said, guys, it's recording.
Too late. It's too late.
Yeah.
So I was hoping he'd have you back on the show sometime, but
No, we are.
so much for that.
As long as you don't, my rule is as long as you don't go number twosies with your microphone, it's okay. So you're
that's
still
the
good.
Line. That's the line that you
the
draw.
line.
Well, it's kind of hard to play that one off. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Lord Jesus, help me past this
God.
demon.
You've never gone to a good Southern Church of Christ or Southern Baptist church until the preacher's left his mic on while he's gone to the bathroom. And God, it's the funniest thing that's ever happened in your life. And everybody's just sitting there going, oh, bless his heart. No, Lord Jesus, help him. Oh, God.
In 30 years in a Black Baptist church,
You've never, in 30 years.
30 years in a Black Baptist church, never once has that happened.
Never has that happened to
I've
you.
not seen it happen.
Maybe that's a Church of Christ thing then. I don't know.
And one night on this Southern, on the true Southern TV, they're fucking taking a lake. All of a sudden, it's Leslie Nielsen.
Microphones?
Yeah.
Do what?
Wait, church? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They had a wireless mic on. So they would leave their
yeah.
mic on and go to the
I've been
bathroom.
to churches where there was no microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I've been
at
to
that
those.
time, I'll admit he didn't have a wireless microphone.
Yeah,
it wasn't
well-
until I was like in my 20s plus as that church started to grow into a mini mega church.
How many people went to that church? Like as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah.
It was roundabouts 250, but by the
That's
time I
a good
graduated,
sized church.
Right. By the time I graduated, so that chapel could hold 500.
Okay.
It was full and overflowing.
Oh, wow.
And then they ended up having to build. Well, they built a new cathedral that could
Right.
hold.
A lot.
I want to say 1,500, but
Golly.
it's way more than that. It's actually way more than that.
No, so I grew up in a church that had 100 people, and it was the typical Southern church. If you've never been to a typical Southern church, especially in the Baptist Church of Christ, United Methodist, what happens is after the preacher gets done giving his sermon, he then goes out and he stands at the front door and waits to shake everyone's hand as they walk out.
Oh
right?
wait, no, you got to do the call to Christ.
Well, you got to
Altar
do
call.
the altar call,
Yeah.
but it ends with them going to the front door and they shake everyone's hand on the way out, and you're supposed to come by and say, "Hey, great job today, preacher," whatever. But what would happen every time is our preacher would have to piss, so he'd do altar call, then he'd run to the bathroom real quick. And then he would come back to the door. Well, half the time he forgot to turn his mic off. So in this little church of 80, 90 people, we get to hear the pastor pissing about every 3 weeks. It was really a neat experience for us. It really helped us grow closer to Christ.
I'm sure it was very spiritual.
It was a very spiritual moment. Yes, sir.
Question.
Answers.
Why did you piss on the floor?
Why did you
He's
piss
got
on my
bad aim.
floor?
Well,
It had it coming.
I stand back.
It had it
Out
coming.
of, there's water on the floor.
What are you talking about?
We're just saying that
He cleaned it up. You're good.
No, that's fine.
Okay, look.
So,
yes.
you ready for this shit?
Oh God, here we go.
Yesterday,
You can
range
come on
day-
back, man.
How about to say you can come back, Matt?
We're supposed to be talking about SHOT Show, right?
Right.
So I'm bringing a couple buddies with me. One guy's a complete training junkie.
Right.
Like he loves taking classes and all sorts of stuff. And so at one point I was like, "Hey man, I think that's Tim Kennedy."
Oh God.
And he's like, "Holy shit. I got to get my picture with Tim Kennedy." And the other guys are shooting. I'm like, "Hey man,
Tim Kennedy. Right.
Tim Kennedy is over there."
Yes.
And Tim Kennedy,
He's dead,
as,
right?
as
Tim
just as I'm like, "Hey man, that's Tim Kennedy." He walks into a fucking urinal.
Walks in,
Right? He walks into the fucking porta pot.
like walks into
a porta pot.
Just goes into piss, or
Just
he
goes
falls into it. Okay.
Just goes in.
Clarification has to happen.
He goes into the portisan. He comes walking out. My buddy's there, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And Tim Kennedy's like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest moment ever." You get to shake my hand, and I just had my hand in my dick.
Wow.
Jeez.
Sorry, my dick in my hand.
Yeah.
I'll have another Jack on the Rocks.
Yeah.
I just had my hand on my dick, and so of course I tell my buddy, I'm like, "Dude, this is your fucking your Tim Kennedy dick hand."
Right.
Did he say, "I'm never washing this hand ever"?
Right. I think
He insinuated
your
that.
production crews had enough of this shit.
Yes,
I think
they
they're
have.
leaving.
I think we should
Fucking-
probably.
This is what I love.
Guns.com. Look, y'all, hang on. Y'all probably need to go to the guns.com part.
should.
Y'all should. I don't
We
want to put
should.
you on the spot.
But
I don't know
this
that
is the-
you should. Let's back up. I think you should.
Are you going to Guns.com?
Thinking about it, we got passes, and that's a fun party to go to.
My-
But this
my
is a great
buddies
one
are
to be
supposed-
at.
This is a
Right.
fun one to be at. But there's no harm done because I know you also have other hands you need to shake. Do
Get an extra pass?
I can't hear you.
Extra pass.
you have an extra pass?
I have a laptop that could give you a pass.
There you go.
I feel like we should all go.
Or two.
We should
Here's
all
what you
get
need to
drunk and go to guns.com party together and just keep. We'll just not stop.
Too
We'll
late.
take that iPad with us. We'll take your crew with us. We'll take this
I
on the
like to
road.
say-
This will be riding with Charlie in the Uber.
So I like to say this.
Riding with Charlie to Guns.com.
In the words of old dirty bastard, nigga blaze.
All right.
It's a direct quote.
It is a direct quote.
It's a direct
It's
quote. It
fine.
should be fun.
Curtis doesn't believe it. It's
Curtis is
fine.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever, I'm great.
All right, you know what? For the sake of everyone here and all the viewers, all 6 of them, I feel like
6.
I'm going to wrap this up because there's some appearances. Y'all people know y'all. People don't know me. I'm gonna go right there and go to bed. It's so good. That's the great
jealous.
thing about being me. Yeah. So y'all need to go be people that are admired and people love you and shit.
And drunk Charlie.
Drunk Charlie. Yeah, I was really talking to you. I didn't even know he was listening. So
can't hear
He's not.
he's not.
He's comatose.
Yeah, he is.
Drunk Charlie, that's what they're calling you.
Yeah,
I love that new podcast.
I
Drunk
love
Charlie.
it. Drunk Charlie. It's a podcast I will watch every week.
And Curtis Stanley.
And Curtis. All right, listen, we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, guys, thank you. Real life. I mean, I know we've joked a lot. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Thank y'all for being here. This has been a lot of fun. And
this is what happens when Amy Lucas says, "Hey, come to this party. We're gonna have you on a show at 5 o'clock."
Right.
I'm like,
I'll be there at 6.
right.
I'll be there at 6, and this is 2.5 hours later.
Yeah. No, that's it. Well, and this has been a trial for us this year because, when we're in this industry, we're always trying new things. We're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Totally.
And the one thing that I love podcasts, I love when we get together and we have these really serious conversations about the industry. Those have to happen. Yeah. But also people never, I feel like, and this was my big thing with this show, is like people never get to just see us sitting back and having a little bit of fun and getting to see who the real we are, right? And who we are every single day. Sure. And so that's been fun. I love having Michael and Curtis here with me. Of course, Wid's here with me. Usually Jamie and Amy are here with me. They left. I like your production crew.
I love
they
that,
seem like good dudes.
I love that we chased Jamie and Amy away.
Completely gone.
Right. Amy's like, "Oh my God, I did this." No, Jamie's she's like, "I did this great show with this guy Lucas every day. Yeah. 5 o'clock, we have a couple of drinks." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds awesome." She's like, "You should come by." She's not here. She hasn't been here
He is gone. Yeah.
She hasn't been here for 3.5 fucking hours.
I'm gonna try Charlie Joe. I'm asleep by 3.
But this is the best. This is as good as it gets. I mean, it's long days for us at SHOT Show, so getting to come and decompress for a little bit and actually just get to talk and be us, it's awesome. And y'all get to come and drink alcohol and eat chocolates. Chocolate balls. Curtis.
Are they salted?
And
I don't know. Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's where we end the show.
It's actually white.
That's
fucked up.
That's how it's so small. That's how you know. So we've had enough here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the show. The one of you that's still here, we appreciate you so much, guys. In all honesty, all joking aside, thank you for coming. I mean, this has been cool. Please, if we can ever do anything again, let's do it. Let's have some fun. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week here at SHOT Show. And y'all have fun at guns.com tonight. Hey, Charlie, get it together. Just hit his hand.
Hey, you're going too, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Apparently I'm going too. Yeah. I've only got to do a presentation in the morning at 9 o'clock. As long as I can make it back for that, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're done. Guys, make sure. Okay, real quick before we go, we've got tell them your channels and tell them how they can find them.
So if you check out Writing Shotgun with Charlie, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on podcast form. You can find me at Writing Shotgun, WRITING.com.
Fucker bought that domain.
Jesus, that's not the wrong one. Writing Shotgun with Charlie at Arm Lifestyle Magazine. You can find me on 2way.com as well. You can find me on Amazon. Not Amazon. What's the one?
OnlyFans?
Ammo
Audible.
If you want to get pictures of my face. Jesus Christ. Ammoland, News 2way.
Yep.
Writing.
You could until this week,
magazine.
and he's no longer on there. So yeah, just got okay.
Writing Shotgun with Charlie is which one you gotta check out.
Okay, you're up.
Oh, sorry.
For the one of my viewers, tell them where to find your shit at.
MeetThePressers.com. That links to my training company, PublicSafetyEducation.com, and Meet the Pressers on all the social media. I already have one.
He has one. Here, you can throw it here.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Throw it. Oh God, it's gone forever.
I don't know if I can throw
What's
it.
that?
Your honey is amazing.
Oh, honey. Yeah. So I got MalloryMarket.com's our honey and bees.
Mallory Unlimited.
Yes, MalloryUnlimited.com links to everything. So if you wanted to do that, yeah.
I love that. So make sure you give them some follows. Keep up with them, what they're going on. True Southern TV, make sure you follow us on all the socials. We've got continuing SHOT Show coverage all week long as we're here. I don't know how long Charlie's going to make it. God bless. I don't know what your interviews are tomorrow, but I'm there for all of them because I feel like they are just going to be a shit show. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Those of you that have endured through this shit for the past 3 hours, we love you. We appreciate you. We're done. That's it. We're going to go to guns.com.
Drink and drive, get an Uber.
That's right. Get an Uber. Don't drive drunk. We love y'all. Good night. We'll see y'all next time live here from SHOT Show 2024 tomorrow night at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Good night. Say bye, everybody.
Stay safe. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.